Security boss. Listen, guys, I'm coming to you with something new and very exciting. It's called I Choose You. Yes, it's a new dating show, and we want all of you to get excited about it. Yes, it is a dating show. It's going to be a virtual dating show. We want all you bachelors and your bachelorettes to get excited about it. So stay tuned for I Choose You.
Driving around in California, looking for something to make me stay. Round and round forever searching for something that could never get replaced. Don't need you to save me, but I just really need to be saved. I'm just so sick of waiting for any luck to come my way. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. This is Security Boss, and this is Unsolicited. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Can y'all hear me? I'm sure you all can because I can hear myself. Guess what? It's hump day. Does anybody ever say that anymore? Hump day. That's an old term. I'm telling my age. But anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you guys for coming here. Big Bad Bull. Thank you. Glad you're here. Big Cap, Auntie Boss, Express I Vibe. Welcome to SB Nation. Eugene Steele, hello, hello. I'm glad you all are here. Thank you for coming in. When you come in, guys, remember to give me the thumbs up. Make sure you are liking these videos or the live when you come in. And I'm going to remember to say that. So I definitely appreciate that. Miss Bella, how are you? Mandrell, how you doing? I'm glad that you all are here. Thank you so much for being here. You know what? Tonight, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But tonight's topic is, can you trust your mate or your spouse, your mate, your relationship? In your relationship, can you trust them with your trash? I'm gonna say your spouse, because sometimes things get deep. Would you really tell your girlfriend all that deep stuff? But anyway, tonight's topic is, will you trust your mate with your trash? How about that? That's something interesting. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna need y'all help. Tonight is gender talks, though. This means, I got a question, of course, but I definitely want to hear from you all. I want to hear what you all have to say, like I always do. Want to include y'all and get it started. But again, when you're coming into the live, make sure you give me the thumbs up. And yeah, we need them likes up. We definitely do. So when you're coming into the live, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And I'm gonna remind myself. So I need y'all help with that. Listen, SB Nation, y'all are here. Y'all are here all the time. I need y'all to remind me of that. So y'all put that in the chat here and there when I forget to do it. I get to talking and I totally forget about it. I really do. But I just want to go back and recap a couple of things that that I've been doing here lately. Y'all saw the commercial, I Choose You. Where are all my bachelors? I get so much inquiries, what's going on here? What's going on there? But I haven't received any videos. But I'm getting all these bachelorettes, all these ladies. They want to be a part of I Choose You. But I don't have any men. So what's going on? What is going on? I need the men. Men, I need you. I'm bringing to you women, good women. They fit. They go to the gym. They ain't got no kids. Ooh, they want to be married. And I don't have any videos from the men. I have several inquiries, though. I'm not lying. You all are contemplating. I think it takes you a little longer to get to get going. I don't really know, but I need your videos, 2 to 3 minutes, right? sbshow2020@gmail.com. I need you to send those videos to sbshow2020@gmail.com. I need those 2 or 3 minute videos so we can get this ball rolling. So men, please, I Choose You. Go over and subscribe to it. Come over. I should say, not go over. I'm here. Come over and subscribe to Unsolicited, right? So you can get updates on the show. We're going to have some wild card guests. We're going to have some wild card. We're going to have some wild card judges. It's going to be very entertaining. I can't tell you everything that's going on. Maybe I should flip it. Listen, and let the men be the prize instead of the women. You know what? I may end up having to do that. But the men are still, I got plenty women. I may have to do that. But with the men, you might be right. But I was gonna flip it anyway. I was just gonna let the ladies come first, and then to get the ball rolling because they're so willing. But the men are kind of hiding out. But you know what? We may have to do that. But I don't want to do that because Bella is ready. She's ready. So it's just I want the men to understand. We've already put the first bachelorette out there. So let's have some conversation, sending those videos. That's all I can say. Just send the videos in and we just get it started and you all will have a good time. No pressure, no awkwardness. Don't be shy, guys. Bella says, don't be shy. Ooh, it's in their nature. Listen, I need y'all to send those videos in. That's all I want to say about that. But listen, I hope everybody's having an outstanding day. I have been. Today's been a good day. It was perfect. The weather was good. It was almost darn near hot. But I'm not going to complain about it because I'd rather warm weather than hot, than cold. So I was good. I was very good. What else I want to tell you guys? Again, I want to know from you all, what do you think about having a Tuesday night show? Last night was Tuesday night. Mondays are getting pretty hectic out here in this YouTube space. So I'm just thinking about, I think we decided to try Tuesday nights for some time just to see how it goes. The turnout was good. You all participated like nobody's business, but I expect that from you all. Y'all always showing up, doing your thing. So I appreciate that. Make sure when you're coming into the live, you're giving me the thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And I'm going to keep on reminding you and all of you that support the show and sponsor the show with your super chats. I appreciate it so very much. Hello, Bolo. Hope you're doing well. Canadian born. Hello. How are you? And listen, continue to support the show. I appreciate it. Me and Mr. Boss try our best to put on a good show and make it entertaining for you, and I hope we're doing so. But listen, we would love to have your suggestions. BCDC, what do you have to say here? Tuesdays are cool, but I didn't know SB had a Tuesday show. I don't have a Tuesday show. I don't, but I'm trying to have a Tuesday show. I had a Monday night show, and I'm trying to move my Monday night to Tuesday night. And I want to know what you think, because Mondays are so full. So many people have shows on Monday night. I don't want anybody to miss seeing SB or Black Man Unfiltered. So if we come to Tuesday, I want to know if you think that's best. So anyway, we're going to keep moving. So get into the title, to the subject of tonight. It is, should you trust your mate with all your trash? All right. Now, I don't know where your mind took you, but I've been talking to you guys about influence, right? I've been talking about single women influence. Yesterday, we talked about men's fellowship influence. We're talking about the TV influence, all of this stuff, right? And then we all know that a person of my age, and probably ever since then, there was always secrets. Your parents always kept secrets. You didn't find out till you was grown that your daddy had some kids over that was right across the street and stuff like that, or no one ever told about, your experiences as a child. Did somebody touch you, or did somebody do something wrong? Nobody ever said anything about that. Eugene, thank you so much. He said, I just told some fellas on another channel about I Choose You. Yes, listen, I forgot to mention, if y'all haven't seen it yet, if y'all have a good place, a good avenue that we need to advertise, let me know. But we've been advertising and it's out there. TLA did an excellent job yesterday. Black Man, Sir Hell, all of them, we're advertising on Google. It's out there. But if you all know of another place that we can do, we can advertise, just let us know, because we would like to try that avenue also, because we definitely need to get word out there. And that's part of it, is getting the word out, to have people know that I Choose You is actually something that we're doing and encouraging for just a dating show, having fun. Okay. So anyway, we talk about all that. I was talking to my husband about this earlier today, and I was like, so hello, Catherine, how are you? We were saying, do you trust your mate? I say spouse, because I don't know if I would just trust a girlfriend or a boyfriend with my deepest secrets, but do you trust your spouse? I'm gonna say spouse with your all your trash, all those things that you did. Oh God, I'm gonna sneeze. Listen, that's another thing. When you get into the spring of the year, you get these allergies and you start sneezing, and I'm a sneezer, y'all. I have these allergy things. So anyway, forgive me for that. It's coming. So I begin to ask, do you reveal all? We even it's been a couple of weeks, not even a couple of weeks ago. I think early on this week or late last week, we did a story or someone brought to the panel about how an Asian woman had kids, and the kids didn't look like her and her husband. And after about 3 kids, she finally told her husband that, look, I had total reconstructive surgery or plastic surgery of my face, and I didn't look this way. I wasn't born this way. And she never told him. Then she finally told him, and he left her. So that was some trashy stuff. And she she opted to keep it a secret, and then finally just said, you know what, maybe I need to share this. And she did, and he left. So I'm here today. I'm asking you, can you trust them with all your trash? Because some things we do are very trashy. Listen, also, how about this? I was born a man, but now I'm a woman. Do you tell? Do you ever tell? Is that something you take to your grave? I need to know. That's trashy, y'all. That's very trashy. Do you tell your, family members? Do you tell your sister that her husband is a pervert? Do you tell these things? Or do you just take them to your grave? I want to know. I want to know what is okay to tell. He also sued her. Yeah, that's right. Hello, Luke Hazley. True story. Y'all the one who told me about it. It had me thinking, do we trust our mate or our spouse with our trash? Do a woman tell her husband after she's been married after 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, hey, I slept with over 100 men. Oh, I was a prostitute in my past life. Do you tell these things? Are these secrets that take you to your grave? And if you don't tell, what actually are you doing? By not telling. This is your spouse. This is somebody that you're becoming one with. This is someone you're in a relationship for life. If you're holding on to all this trash, what are you doing? Men, do you tell, after you have allowed certain influences into your life, men, would you tell your wife that you had a thought about another man? Would you tell? I need to know. I want to know. I want to know what y'all think, because this could get deep, y'all. Can you trust that woman or that man that you've chosen to be, we don't like, how are you? Look, you got some stories to tell. Would you tell though? Would you trust that person to be mature enough to handle this and say, look, I've allowed some things into, hey, Jay Prince, I've allowed some things into my life, and now I'm dealing with them. Do we even know what we should tell? See, me, I would say you need to put a bright light on all of it so it'll go away. But some of you would want to hold on to them secrets, and you don't really know what you're doing when you're holding on to stuff. It's very deceptive. It's actually almost a game that you're playing, and it could very well take you over. So I need to know, can you trust your mate with your trash? And it's all trash. It goes all the way, because I've heard men say this. I've heard men say, not too long ago, a young man came on and he said, I'm gonna have to take that to my grave. There's some things men just don't talk about. Really? So if you're not talking about it, what exactly is happening? Okay, so look, Big Bad Bull said, a cooking woman is the sexiest woman I have ever seen. A cooking woman, is that all she got to do, Big Bull? She just got to cook. All right. So, you know what? I'm not going to talk to you about that right now. But what if it's a secret that she's a chef and she just don't want to let you know? How about that? But I need to know, guys. I need to know, do we trust our mate or our spouse with our deepest trash? Now, we know we're going to tell everybody about something good. I'm talking about the stuff you don't want anybody to know. Expose anything that could potentially destroy the relationship. The only concern is know when to expose it. Stephen Day, you hit it on the nail. Because see, all these things, the trashy things is what eat at you. It's what can tear you down. It's how the devil can get into your relationship and break it up. So when I say shine a bright light on it, I'm saying if you're shining a light on it, it's no more, it's not a secret anymore. The light has been shone on it, and now you're in control of it, and you can actually do something about it instead of trying to keep these things a secret. But I want to know from you all, what is it? I want to hear the deepest amount of trash that you think that you need to share, because there's a lot of things out there that people are not sharing. And these things are coming up later on. I mean, we hear it all the time. The one about the woman born a man, That's the deepest one. But we already know that is definitely true. What up, though? Michael, how you doing? That is very true. People are doing these type of things. The lady with the plastic surgery changed her whole face and she's totally a different person. Should she have shared those things? It was prior to her husband. I don't know. Should she? So if you don't share these things, what are you doing? You're being very deceptive. If this is your spouse, how can these things benefit you if you do share them? You can become one. See, usually you play it safe. The secrets that you think are the most damaging, you keep them to yourself. Really? So you don't think that your spouse, not you particularly, but you probably would, you're saying that we don't think that your spouse can handle some things, some of the trash that you've been through. Is that what you're saying? I hear you. But you know what? I happen to think if you picked her right and y'all are together, she's the one for you. Right. And if you were ready and on your purpose and you was that man and you pick and you found that woman, I happen to think she can handle it. So, Mr. C, how are you? So I think you can share. I think you honestly should share. I definitely think you should. Honestly, and privacy are not mutually exclusive. Wow. No, they're not. But should they be? Should we be discussing these things? Now, this is with our spouse. This is not with the random. This is what should you allow to come into your relationship? When should you do it? And what kind of trash would you be bringing? See, I happen to think that you could get so close to a person intimately and that they kind of know you. They'll know. Now, I don't know about the plastic surgery, changing your face and things of that nature, but these emotional ties that we have. Mr. Bennett, how are you? He says, good evening. Tough question. Some may say it's not your business. Women having deletions. You're right. Some would say it. But should we keep it a secret? It may not be. It may not be. But this is your spouse. For me, it's my spouse. This is what I would share with my spouse. It's a lot of things, even like we say, body counts. Should that matter? Should we, you want to know I would want to know how solid my foundation is with my husband. I would want to know that. I would want to know also, will these things that are trash for me, will it change my relationship dynamic? Can it hurt my relationship? Is this something that I should have came in with, come in the relationship speaking about early on? Am I lying? Am I being deceitful? Because anything that's deceitful and a lie, that don't sound good to me. That means that, it's not good. SB, I think that I can open up more with the older traditional women than the modern women. You got to be careful. Jay Prince, you got to be careful. But we're talking about trash, y'all. We're not talking about the good stuff. We're talking about all the junk that we carry around with us. We're talking about the deletions. We're talking about the body counts. We're talking about I was touched. We're talking about all those things that we carry. Should we disclose these things, y'all? Or should we just not say a word and if we don't, what is it doing to us? Has it done anything to us at all? Because see, I think some things can be so bad that it can change you, especially if you think that you're going to just hold these things in and you're not going to tell anybody. I'm saying I do know and I realize that sometimes people get hurt behind the truth. But does that mean we don't tell it? Because everybody always says the truth hurts. It does. But when do you actually divulge the truth? Is it necessary to do that? And I happen to think it is. It may not be all as one at once, but if you're in a relationship, my husband and I have been married 26 years, we'll be 27 in November. There shouldn't be anything that he doesn't know about me. Shouldn't be. Good, bad, or indifferent. Sometimes you might have to swallow twice. I did it. It was back then. I'm a different woman now. This is the woman that you married, right? But this is something I did. I was lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm glad you're here. But what if I was deceptive in it and never dealt with it? What if I had that spirit? Well, I'm not going to say that. What if I was in a wrong place? And I'm entertaining thoughts. Sir Hell, how are you? I'm entertaining thoughts that are not good, that are not beneficial for me. See, if I put the bright light on it, me and my husband can discuss it and we can figure out, where I'm weak at. He could pray on me, he could pray over me, touch whatever. He could get me the help that I needed. See, this is why people turn to alcohol, drugs, and things of that nature. Sometimes it's sex, addictions. This is where addictions come in, because we don't deal with our truths, because we don't think that our spouse or our mates can handle our trash. And a lot of times they may not be able to, but I'm telling you, if a person says to you that they love you, they're married to you, they're there for you, and you can't discuss your trash with them, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that ain't the one for you, but I'm leaning towards it, guys. Because if you're becoming one with somebody and that's your spouse, if you can't become one and tell that person who you really are, then dang, what do you have? What are we doing? So listen, Sir Hell starts it off with a $9.99 super chat. Y'all know what we do with this. This is a money line.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time.
Give me mine.
Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. Thank you so very much, Sir Hell. And he just says SB Nation going up. Thank you so much, Sir Hell. Thank you for that. Listen, I'm just wondering, because I do know there's some real trashy things that we have hidden from each other in our past. I've said this several times. My mother died on October 31st, Halloween. Shortly after that, maybe a week or two after, maybe a little longer, might have been a month. I could be wrong in my time. And my dad finally decided to tell me about 6 illegitimate kids that he had by one woman. 6. I often wonder, did my mom know anything about it? I'm the baby. He had 6 illegitimate kids that were older than me. I'm the baby. So that was something that he held on to for all these years. Now, he tells me she knows. Oh, excuse me, that she knew. I don't know if that's true or not, though, guys. I don't know. But he felt the need to share it with me. So, my question to him was, what am I supposed to do with this? What you want me to do? So do I all of a sudden now got, since I got 6 additional brothers and sisters, what do you want me to do? And now to me, the timing of it was way off. I'm like, why are you telling me now? This doesn't make sense. But he says my mom knew. I don't know. I have to accept him for being what it is and just go on with that. But, I don't know. But that's what I'm talking about. That was some trashy behavior. 6 illegitimate kids by one woman. So listen, Luke Hazley, thank you for your $10 super chat. You get the money line song.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Money line,
I'ma run it every time.
give me mine.
Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. Thank you, Luke Hazley 20. Thank you so much for that. So listen, guys, if you're coming into the live right now, let's get those thumbs up. Make sure you are liking the video or the live as you come in. I would definitely appreciate it. Tonight, we are talking about, can you trust your mate with all your trash? And I'm giving you some examples of my trash. Yes, I'm giving you some examples of my trash, of some of my family trash. And I'm just telling you, I'm just sharing these things with you. I want to hear what you think about it. And in a little bit, I'm going to drop the link and I want you guys to come up and share with me some of your trash. I'm just kidding. I want you to share your stories. You ain't got to share your trash. I was just kidding. This is my sense of humor. It's kind of off. Okay. So anyway, like I said, my mother died on Halloween. And after she passed away, he felt the need, my dad, to tell me he had 6 kids. 6 kids by one woman, y'all. And those kids were older than me. Now, I've heard many stories that there were several others after me also. And he hasn't felt the need to confess those, though. Not yet. But the 6 that were older, that was in between me and my sisters, my older sister, he told me about that. 6 by one woman. So I didn't know. I was taken back by it. I was like, what? You did what? And I told him, I was like, you're wrong for that. Why didn't you marry that woman? Because one of them, let me say it different. 3 of them was before he married my mother. So why didn't you marry her? instead of my mom. He didn't have a good reason for it. So my thing was, he says my mother knew all about it. I don't know how much she knew or did not know, but I know he told me afterwards. And I said, I just asked, what do you want me to do with that? And that's the question that you find yourself asking, you know, what do you want? What do you want someone to do with this? That's my dad. So he's like, I don't want you to do anything. I just wanted you to know. I'm thinking, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. Let me know why. What am I supposed to do? He had no, he just like, I'm serious. I said, okay. And I'm like, next question, you got a relationship with him? No, you don't. So I'm thinking you got 6 people over here that probably really dislike you. They had no dad. Because you was in my house. I mean, you know, you was my dad. I saw you. I know who you are. You was there with us the whole time. You took care of our house. So what did you do for them? I mean, you created a woman that could have been good for some other man, but you know. So we had this discussion. But anyway, I'm just telling you about the trash. I felt like that was very trashy. Hey, Yene, how are you? Stephen Day, how are you if I didn't already speak to you? Very trashy situation, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Do you confess to this trash? Do you sit down and talk to people about this? Or do you just let this kind of stuff go on? How does it work? I want to know. Not only that, I have heard many stories about how men, y'all have heard this. Y'all have heard this before. It's been men. I hate to say it. SB, do you have a single twin sister? No. You know what? I might. I might have what I just don't know about it. I'm going to check into it, though, and I'll let you know. I will let you know. I will let you know. But again, you're right. I don't know. There could be a lot of things out there. Elena, hello, how are you? There could be a lot of things out there I don't know that I have because of the trashy situations. And I told my husband coming in that we weren't going to be like that. We was going to tell these things because I happen to believe that if you have someone that you can trust, right? And that you love and that loves you, you need to be able to get rid of these traumas. Now, you might need a counselor, if it's altering your life. I do agree with that. But sometimes you have to tell somebody about this. Keeping these secrets is not what's good. You have to put the bright light on the trash. You have to let somebody know about the trash. And I kind of feel like that's what my dad was doing. He wanted it off of him. My mother passed away and all of a sudden things got really real, got really real. And you know how people always say, when death comes, you start looking around like, wow, gosh, now my wife passed away. What I need to do? So he was having his confessions and he divulged some trash, in my opinion, trash. So I want to know from you all, can y'all trust your mate or your spouse with your trash? And trash gets deep, y'all. Yeah, you could listen. You could tell them how you used to be a thief when you're young. I used to be a thief when I was young, not me. I'm just saying that kind of stuff. I used to be a thief, or I was a 3 or 4 in my younger days. How about that? Or like I said, you were touched, you were molested, you were violated. I used to be a drunk, whatever the situation is. Can you trust your spouse with that? And should you? Or should you just walk around holding all these things in? Because remember, I told you it's all about influence. And if your spouse gets to know you well enough, I almost know my husband well enough that he ain't got to tell me much of nothing. I'm asking questions because I almost can tell the way he moves, what he's thinking and how he's feeling. It's not, these things are really not secret if you're dialed in. If you're into that person, they're really not a secret. It tells on you. It tells on you. It could be something on TV. It could be your response to a conversation. It could be just how you interact with people. It could be the fact that you don't interact with people. All these things could be the outcome of something, some trashy behavior or something that happened to you that needs to be disclosed or needs to be talked about. But instead, we want to keep it in. See, I'm the one nowadays. I don't want to hold no more trash. I don't want to hold the trash. I'm not advising anybody to hold in any trash. I want you guys to feel free and do what you have to do. I'm not saying tell me. I'm just saying consider it. Because guess what? We all foul in some way or have been. And until we learned how to get our life together, we did things that were not good. SB, it depends on what your past was, can end the relationship. It doesn't matter. You listen, Jay, I hear you. But if that person has been with you for any length of time, she knows the person that you are now, not the person that you was however many years ago. And I say if you're going into a marriage relationship with this person, you need to be clean hearted, very clean. And that's what you try to do. You have to be clean. Tisha, how are you? How are you? Do you talk about your trash before or after you get married? That depends on you. I say a little bit at a time. I hate to say it. But you know what? There's some trash that needs to be discussed prior. And then there may be some deep rooted trash that you done tried to forget that might come out a little later. Because when you get to loving somebody, love just conquers and covers all things. Things tend to overflow. Let's just say that. Things tend to come out when you start being in love. You get a little less resistant. Please do it before. Oh, that kind of trash. You talking about that? No, it all depends what kind of trash you're talking about, though. Oh, you think, okay. So Stephen Day said, please do it before. I say it all depends on the trash. I think Stephen might be thinking about something that's a little bit. I got you, Stephen. Yeah, if she was born a man and now she's a woman, you would want to know that before, right? I agree with you. Things are real now. I agree with you. If it's something like that, and y'all, I can't consider. Let me stop saying that's trash. That was just some transitioning. But guess what? If she was born a man and now she's a woman, you do want to know that. Now, would someone keep that a secret? I absolutely think that they would. Is that fair to keep that a secret? I absolutely think that it isn't. I know a beautiful woman. Now, she was one of the first transgenders that I've seen on TV. And now y'all might have seen, it was years ago. I think she was on Oprah, beautiful woman. I think she worked in the production, on the production stage or somewhere with Oprah. I can't remember, but she did something in TV or movies. Beautiful woman, beautiful Black woman, but she was a man. She was born a man, but she has to transition and she had a husband, but she was a very nice looking woman. Excuse me. Now I can't tell y'all this. She didn't have to tell nobody that she was a man and nobody would have known. And she's still out there now. I can't call her name right now, but she was one of the first people I ever saw that did that transitioning to a woman. And whoever did it did an excellent job on the exterior. I don't know about, but all of it was transition. She had a husband. The husband knew. And Stephen Day, you're exactly right. She needed to tell somebody that would have been the most. Now, that's deep. That's a heavy thing right there to be able to tell somebody. But this day and time, 2022, you have to ask these questions, especially if there's any kind of questions or concerns. I mean, number one thing, can you have a baby? Because no matter how much transitioning she did, she was not able to have kids, but she was beautiful. She is a beautiful woman. So you want to know, those are things that you would want to tell. Those things that I'm saying to you that you may not need to disclose before are things like if you were violated in some way. That takes a level of trust. You have to know that you can trust this man with that information, because you would never want someone to use that against you, man or woman. So that might take a level of trust. And sometimes you don't get that trust going into a marriage. It's something that has to build over time. So that would be something I said maybe over time. But you are exactly right. There are some things that need to be discussed prior. But we're going to drop the link, and I want to hear from you all what y'all think. And make sure when you're coming into the live, y'all giving me the thumbs up. I want to know of some things that you think that we should not discuss. Just some things you've heard, because things are wild nowadays, y'all. They're really, really wild. I want to hear it all. Emil says some spouses would use what you told them as a weapon against you. That's exactly what I just said. I agree. So you want to wait. But there's some things, you can't, you have to be honest about some things. So we cannot trick people to think that we're one person and we're another. I don't believe in that. But again, like I said, there may be some things like, if you were violated or, I don't know. I mean, what about if you had a child that you gave up for adoption? What about those type things? Yes, someone can get hurt by keeping those type of secrets. They can, but they also can get hurt by, or you also can lose by telling these secrets, because people sometimes can't handle stuff. So you have to know who you're dealing with to see if they can handle your truths. Ooh, Big Bad Bull said, I broke up with the woman after dating her for 4 months because she wouldn't tell me her trash. Wow. She was all, hold on. She was all up in my business, but kept saying she needed time to tell me some things. So you know that was deep, don't you? Now, see, Big Bad Bull, you might have, I consider that a red flag. I consider that as you won. I hope you clapping your hands. Because when it gets so bad that you can't even tell, and she's receiving your information and she can't even tell, see, that's tricky. I'm glad she didn't tell, and I'm glad you broke up, because that is something right there that means it was going to take a real big left turn. Yeah, big left turn. So consider that a red flag, and consider yourself winning because she didn't want to tell. But I'm glad y'all had that conversation. I am. How did you get there though? How do you start? So that means in 4 months, you were sincere about her. If y'all were talking about things that had happened. So Stephen A says, if you truly do want to share something with your spouse, share it with a therapist. Could be. But see, I trust my spouse more than I trust my therapist, but both could handle it. I could. It all depends on what it is. It all depends on where we are in life. Sometimes they project they're passing the next man. Yes, they do. They project on each other. Yes. Mr. C had that to say. Also, how would you react to others' secrets? That is something you think about. That's what you want to know. You have to be able to talk to these people. These are all barriers we got to get beyond, right? So when we were younger, there were so many secrets. You didn't know who your sister was. You didn't know who your brother was. You probably, of course, still going on now, you're not sure who your daddy is. Because these are all secrets that we keep. Now, more than ever, since this DNA has come on the scene, and I don't really know when the DNA came, I would say probably around the 1990, early 90s. Y'all tell me. I'm not really sure. But since we've been using it very heavy, there's been a lot of surprises out there. A whole lot. People have gone their whole life thinking that this particular man was their dad. That man grew up being their dad. And all of a sudden now, for whatever reason, we decided to get DNA, and that was not your daddy. See, somebody knew that. I know y'all probably saying, nah, she really didn't know. Nah, y'all. That's a hard bill to believe, because that means we was really 304 out there if we didn't know who the baby daddy was. You know who you sleep with. Now, if you're sleeping with 3 or 4 in one night, give that man an opportunity to run away. Give him an opportunity. Men, if you are out there sleeping with a whole bunch of women and you just don't know where you were, be honest about what you're doing, because it's too many times nowadays that men are finding themselves not the baby daddy, and they have been there the whole time. I mean, in marriage. So what really happened on the bachelorette night? What happened on the night at the bachelor party? What happened? Did you really get that last one in? What did you do? These are things that, listen, guys, we can't be keeping this stuff a secret. I want to know if on the night before we got married, you screwed another woman. You got to let me know. You got to let me know, because there's potential for that to go to, things can come out of that. You can't be reckless all your life. You have to disclose that, because guess what? A lot of things haven't been disclosed, and now we're experiencing it. There are a lot of men who have been taking care of. Hello, OG. How are you? There's a lot of men that have been taking care of babies that have not been theirs, because there's some trash out there that we haven't discussed. I'm just saying, let me know. And I think you all will feel better knowing, because we're not perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. We all got some junk. Just be honest about it. And what makes your junk better than mine? It's because you participated in it. So you're going to just look at me and be like, look, you worse than me because you did this. Oh, so what? You did that. Whose junk is better? The outcome? The outcome makes your junk better? Who knows? But listen, this is the topic of the day. And make sure when you're coming into the live, you're giving me the thumbs up. Please take a moment to do that. I need you guys to do that. And I appreciate you all. Today's topic is, should you trust your mate or your spouse with your trash? Mandrell. I don't know what happened. Hold on for a minute. Mandrell, there you go. No. Mandrell, why don't you go out and come back up? For some reason, I'm not seeing you. I'm seeing you backstage, but I'm not seeing you when we pull you up. So can you go back out and come in? Make sure you're coming in through Chrome so we can see you. But anyway, we need to let everybody, I just think that's a part of having an honest relationship. You do need to know everything before the wedding. But listen, Elena, let me tell you something. I don't think we'll ever know everything. I want to know everything, but I think there are some things that we learn over time. I think that some things are just so deep that we actually think that they're better not said. And I don't know that to be true. Y'all can help me out with that. But I think sometimes it's better not said. Mandrill, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I like those glasses. Now, where is this coming from?
Where's what coming from?
Glasses.
I always wear my glasses.
You do?
No, not always. Just on camera. Most of the time, I don't.
Okay.
But I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Listen, that's one of them things you do when you get older, get them glasses, because you know what?
I know, right?
It's hard to see. I tell everybody, look, y'all don't understand what we look at when we're doing this. So, but listen, what do you think about this? Should you talk about your trash? Should you divulge all your trash when going into a relationship?
Absolutely. Well, if you're going for marriage, absolutely. Before you get married, you should know all the dirty secrets. Otherwise, there's no point.
So when is a good time, you think? When is a good time to do this? And should it be all at once or should it be as we go along?
Well, when you start talking about getting married and both of you are serious about getting married with one another, that's when you air it all out. You don't want to do it when you first meet someone. You don't want to do it when you first meet someone, but once you start talking about marriage and it's like, hey, we both decided we want to do this. So let's get all the dirty laundry out now. So nothing's a surprise later on.
So let me ask you a question. So you've chosen this woman to marry her, and y'all now having these serious conversations about the trash, the things we did in our 20s or whatever previously. Mm-hmm. But now you're totally different people and you're aligning yourselves to be married and to become one with each other, to, husband and wife, to live happily ever after. Is there something that she can say to you to change your mind? As far as trash?
If I've made my decision to marry this woman,
yes.
Probably not.
Oh, that's good to hear, Mandrill. That's how it should be.
Yeah, if I make my mind up, because here's the thing. I don't know if I told you this before. I mean, I think I may have been on this platform or another, but if I'm married to someone and see my wife comes in and she's crying hysterically and says, hey, something happened and I deleted someone, this, that, and the other, right? Mm-hmm. All I'm going to do is go grab a shovel and a few other things, put them in my truck and come to her and say, where do I need to go?
Wait a minute. You going to hide the body?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I'm married, that's my wife. Absolutely.
Okay. Real love right there.
Yeah, no question.
Oh, so you're gonna tamper with the evidence. She gonna delete the person, and you're gonna tamper with the evidence. So both y'all going down.
There's no evidence when I'm done.
Oh my goodness! No, I've never heard you say such a thing.
Yeah,
and y'all gonna just take it to your grave.
Yeah, we will. Not her. Yeah, not her by herself.
No. I'm saying once you've buried the evidence or got rid of it, she did the deletion. It's over with. We're not going to ever talk about it again.
Oh, she and I can talk about it amongst ourselves. Yeah, but that's it.
Mandrill, that's deep right there, buddy. I don't know if I love that deep. I'm not going to be with the serial killer.
I love my sister. I love my sister that much. That's the same thing I do for my sister. She tells me she got a problem. Where do I need to go?
Listen, Mandrill, Big Bad Bull say you'll eat the evidence. No, listen. I always ask. I've said this several times. If someone came and told me my husband was a suspect of being a serial killer, my first thoughts would be I wouldn't believe him. I'm like, you got to prove it, because I'm gonna be with him no matter what. You got to prove it to me. But I think if they can prove that, I'm out. I have my limits. I do. I have my limits now. Because remember, he's a serial killer. I can't hide that. That's my truth. There's some limitations.
He hadn't done anything to you. You didn't even know. Obviously, he's good. Obviously, he's pretty good then.
Yeah, but that's a bit. Look, I just don't know when my number's coming. That's all you saying. I could be. No, we got to take care of that.
I'm
No,
just saying.
I'm not gonna help. Listen, I'm not getting ready to help him hide the bodies. No, I hear
Just
you.
tell him
Though.
that. Just tell him that. Listen. This is a thing you do for recreation. Got it. Cool. It's your thing. Just don't bring me into it.
AJ, you playing around? I'm serious. You
No,
joking?
listen. If I'm married, it's me and you against the world. There's us, and then there's everyone else.
All right. So then you just want to know all things before you actually take the leap and marry. You just want to know all things. And
Yeah.
but even though you're knowing those things, there are no deal breakers at that point.
No, it's just, once I hear it all. Okay, now I know. Now nothing's going to be a surprise.
Okay.
I'll know how to deal with it if said event comes up again.
Okay.
Now it's different. Now if she's a serial killer, at that point, listen, I'll take it to my grave. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I mean, hey, this is a lot.
Yeah, but you're gonna be trying to help her. You're gonna be like, I got you,
No,
babe.
I'm not gonna help her do anything.
You just said you would hide the body.
If it was an accident, I ain't saying she was doing it just to be doing it. No.
Okay, but wait a minute. If it's truly an accident, why do we need to hide the body? Why we can't just call the proper authority and tell them?
Look, I told Nathan Daly, I don't trust the cops.
Wow. Why you don't trust the cops?
No, I'm not leaving my spouse's fate in someone else's hands. That's insane.
Nah. Okay.
So there's something I can do about it.
Well, I mean, you kind of digging a hole for yourself, literally, and then jumping in it, literally. Because
the thing is, that's something she don't have to deal with, though.
No, you hid the body. You tampered with the evidence. You're just as guilty, buddy. I hate to say it.
Yeah, but I'll take the heat for that.
What? Oh my God!
I'll take the heat for that. Listen, if you're married, again, y'all don't understand what marriage means to me.
You know what? I thought I was the one that was in deep. You trying to go deeper than me. So you really deaf do you part. So listen. So she really ain't getting away, huh? You find that woman, y'all gonna have to go out together. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'll go out before I let her go out. But if we're gonna go together, then we're gonna go together. I'm not gonna leave her out on her own.
Wow. Okay, well, you much better than me. I have some limitations. I'm just saying, listen.
Don't get me wrong. I have my limitations too. The trust has to be there. And that's why I think that you have to get the dirty laundry out early before you get married. Because if you wait until after the marriage, now I got to look at you sideways. Why didn't you tell me this before? What else are you hiding? See, now questions start coming up.
Okay, so you see it as hiding something.
Yeah. What?
Really?
Yeah. I got nothing to hide.
What about you, though? What about you? What about, are you willing to disclose all your thoughts and concerns and perversions or things that you've done? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can listen. Everybody's had a perverted thought, haven't they not?
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, so you watch porn, right? I'm sure you've watched porn in your grown-up life. Okay, so there was a bit of perversion going on, right?
Is it perversion though to watch porn?
In my book, it is.
You've been married for like 900 years, so I mean, of course
I'm saying it would be more so for me because I got a husband. So what am I doing?
You got a husband, so
I'm saying that's why I said to me. That's why I said for me. I can't speak for you, but I think there's a. Let me tell you something. We get a little bit off, but I do think a lot of times that men are introduced to sex way too early, right? So I think that's a little perversion when they do that. Like when used to be magazines, there used to be magazines when you were younger. It wasn't like it is now, all in your face, all over the internet. So I think that's a little ounce of perversion. Sometimes older men would talk to you about things that I think shouldn't have been talked about at certain times. I think that's a little perversion that made your mind go places where you may be or maybe not ready for. So I think it causes problems. When that happens, I think it causes problems in men. I think they think about sex too much, and sometimes it gets a little perverted. That's why sometimes you have men that touch people that they shouldn't touch, and women. Same thing for women. You understand what I mean by this, don't you? Without me saying the whole thing, do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I think you're going the wrong way.
No.
Okay. When it comes to boys, I'll tell you, you can ask your husband, ask Mr. Boss.
Okay.
When it comes to boys, and that puberty sets in. Those hormones change. You're saying, I think they think about sex too much. There's nothing that's going to stop that.
No, no, no. I'm not talking about that. That's natural. I'm
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about
about to say there's nothing that's
no,
gonna stop that.
no. I'm talking about. But what if a man touches them?
Oh, see, that's what you have to be taught not to do that.
Okay,
And
but
you have to
that's
know that,
still
and you have to tell them that you have to make sure they understand that once you do something like that, that's too far, and these are some of the consequences that you will incur once you violate someone like that. You have to
yeah,
make
but
sure
it's
they
still
understand that, hey,
perversion
that's
though.
a violation, this, that, and the other. You do that, here are your consequences. Do it at your own risk.
But that's still perversion. It was a violation. Oh
All
yeah, it
right,
was
yeah,
very much so.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll give you that. Yeah,
and it also makes a young mind think the wrong way, incorrectly.
if you let them get away with it.
What do you mean? I'm talking about a child towards an adult. What you mean let them get away?
What do you,
These people groom kids.
who grooms kids to do that?
Oh man, Drea, we ain't gonna talk about it no more. I'll let you figure that one out later on.
No one groomed me. Wait, I must have missed out.
I
Hold on a
didn't say it
second.
happened to you. I didn't say it happened to you, but you do know this does go on, don't you?
Yeah, I've heard of these things, but I've never seen it happen. I mean, why would you? It didn't make any sense to me. Why would you groom someone to go touch women's butts and stuff like that?
No, 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 no. I'm saying older men that
Mm-hmm.
are have perversions touch little
Mm-hmm.
boys.
Oh, you got to go.
But guess what?
I don't play that.
But sometimes the little boys don't disclose it. They take it with them.
Yeah.
They become men, adult men, and they bring that perversion into their relationships, or they hold it in. It's never discussed.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, she says. Catherine Forbes says, "I'm not following. What was the question?" We were just talking about, Catherine. We were talking about, do you trust your mate with all your trash? What we were talking about is men and women being touched as young adults, kids, and it brings perversion into their minds. Do you discuss that with your mate, or do you just not discuss it?
Now, something like that, a lot of people tend to take that to the grave and not share that with anyone. Now, that's something. Say I'm married and my soon-to-be bride has been violated in that fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say she doesn't tell me. Years down the road, I find out that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really hold that against her?
We're talking about you. You the one said, "What else are you hiding?" You said
No,
that.
but see, when it comes to something like that, I mean, you gotta. I would understand that the shame that comes along with that.
Right.
I mean,
That's exactly what it is.
it's incredible. I couldn't fathom going through something like that because in having my uh manhood, or in her case womanhood, taken away from her and her innocence taken away from her, in that way, like what that would do to you psychologically, I have no clue. I can only imagine it would be terrible beyond compare, so that you can't hold it. You got to be reasonable. You can't hold that against her.
No, no, you can't hold it against it. But I'm telling you, that type of thing, when things happen like that to men and women as kids, that brings
Mhm.
about in some a certain amount of perversion, which leads them to do other things. It introduces them to sex at a young age, too open. They make them too open. So that's what we call 304. Sometimes that is a direct correlation with them being touched and the
Okay,
situation not
gotcha.
being dealt with. That's what I'm trying
Well,
to
I
say.
mean, if she was a 304 in a former life,
Look at you now. I'm sharing some things with you. Now, you told me before, if you chose this woman to be your mate, that's what you said. And now y'all just disclosing some things that happened, and she disclosed it to you, would you run away?
if I've chosen to marry her, no,
Yes.
because if I've chosen to marry this woman, that would be something that I would consider to myself before I talk to her about it. Like, these are things I run all these kind of scenarios in my head anyway.
So wait a minute,
As
she wouldn't
simulation.
know. You saying she wouldn't know that you are thinking about marrying her?
Until I brought it up. But if I decided to marry her, the possibility of this woman once upon a time being a 304 has run through my mind, and I'm weighing the odds. Is she still worth it? If this being the case, if she was a 304 in a former life, the woman I'm meeting now and what woman I'm considering marrying, is she still worth it? Because what's going to come out of it? What could possibly come out of this is we run into someone she used to know, and then they talk about it, and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to consider these things, before you get married.
You do, but
So
that's my point I'm trying to make to you. That's why sometimes that see, this is what happens. This is why people don't. That's why people take things to their graves right here. But do you know how much that could have impressed on a young woman or young man? Young man probably more so. If Jay Prince says most violators were violated as well. You're right.
right, right. And see, the thing is, like when it comes to stuff like that, if I've chosen to marry this woman, then no, there are no deal breakers in her. If it comes to stuff in her past, her dirty laundry, is she still doing it? No.
No,
Oh,
she's
okay,
not
then
doing
we're
it
cool.
anymore. But she's
No, well,
still.
then what's the problem?
No, I don't know if it would be, but I'm just saying, is that something that you would be accepting for if she told you that this happened to me and this caused me to be a little more free or
Got it.
permissive?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You
mean,
get what I'm saying now.
because yeah, exactly. The thing is, truth of the matter is, do you really know what a person's body count is? Like, honestly, you can ask, but is that the real one? You'll never know. Let's be honest. You will never actually know.
Well, I
So
was
if this
just giving an
person,
example. That's kind
well,
of like
I get you. So that's what I'm saying is that's why I'm actually making a justification for that whole 304 thing. Like that's not a big deal. I don't think guys should be really focusing on that. Was she a 304 once upon a time? I'm sure you want to know, but really, do you care? Should you care? I don't think so. I mean, you know what I mean? You're never really gonna know anyway.
okay, but you do know that is a trauma, right? Not the 304.
Yeah, that's a trauma, and what caused it, the trigger that caused her to
Right.
go on and be sexually expressive. And the thing is, it depends on how it affects her today, and how is it going to affect her long term. And if that's the case, again, if this is a person I've decided to marry, let's go ahead and start getting you some therapy now before this issue becomes a problem in our marriage.
So listen to this. T. Shaw says, I have a friend that told her husband about her being promiscuous before they got married. And since they have been married, when he gets mad, at her, he throws it up in her face. How about that?
You can't do that. You did wrong. You
That
did
is so
wrong.
wrong. But we're going to hold that thought because we have a super chat here from Big Bad Bull. Big Bad Bull, thank you so much for your $50 super chat. He says, SB, seeing you two reminds me I owe you.
I owe you.
Even though Mandrill was giving stingy with the scoop, I'm over it now, though. Oh yeah, that's right. With Estella, you're right. But Estella was a good catch, and they made a very cute couple. Mandrill, you know what, Mandrill? Before we do the money line song, it comes to you haven't submitted your video.
I have not.
Huh?
Oh, I don't qualify for Bella. I'm obese. She goes by the BMI chart. And according to the BMI chart, I'm obese. So, I mean, who goes by the BMI?
You know
Bella, I know Bella's in the chat.
That was a joke. It was a joke.
You gotta tell us that now, okay? Me and the lead, we're willing to put in videos.
Listen, you knew about it before the lead knew about it. You knew about Bella before the lead knew about Bella. So don't talk about that.
But Bella said, hey, listen, it's not a joke for me. I can't deal with an obese woman either. Big girl, cool. Yeah, cool. Obese, what can I do? I can't help you with that.
Okay, so any other excuse to do. Let's do the money line song. I'm not even yeah, that. Big Bad Bull, thank you for that. We know what Mandrill is now. Money line. Yeah.
Yeah,
we know exactly who Mandrill is right now.
What do you mean?
Because you knew about Bella way before she
did
that. So I didn't get your video. So listen, I don't want to hear conversations about women. There's no women out there because I got a whole bunch of them waiting. I got a whole bunch
of them now, Auntie.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I'm gonna give you an example. Mr. Steele, he is here in the chat. Mr. Steele told me the other day, and this is true. He said, there are several women I know. He's bringing them to me also. I've already told y'all about 5. I don't know if you were there that night. I talked to, who was it? Dr. Panderson, about 5 women right now that are waiting, but I'm not going to waste my girls.
How come Panderson hadn't put in his, what have you?
I don't know. I'm beginning to think y'all scared.
Bella? Stop.
No, period. Y'all don't know how this is going to go. All I want is the videos. Oh my gosh, Bella
And
lost two
then,
amazing dates. She sure did. See,
and
but
then look, me.
listen, what y'all didn't know, because you're not, I want y'all to hear this. I said there's going to be some wild card things going on. I also said that when you all submitting your videos, there may be some women actually watching. Did y'all hear me say that?
No, I didn't hear that one.
So what happened to Estella?
Well, we're platonic. You know.
So who put who in the friend zone and why? Just wondering.
Oh, listen. Hold
Oh,
up.
it's a long story.
No, it's not a long story.
Okay.
It's just not much of one to tell.
Okay. So for whatever reason, you was there and then you wasn't.
That's what it seems like to me.
Okay. All right then. Big Bad Bull, I tried. So we're gonna move on. But listen, that has nothing to do with I choose you. This has
Good
nothing
try.
to do with that. I tried to get some information from you,
Good
not
try.
let me know. I mean, I'm
Hey.
just saying I have several women that are watching.
Okay.
That are watching, and I need some men that say that they are ready for love. Because y'all don't know how this thing is going. I've been talking about wild cards the whole time, and y'all not hearing me. Y'all think I'm gonna tell y'all everything. I'm not gonna tell you everything. It's gonna require some participation on y'all end. It's gonna be fun, you know.
Well,
Mandrell,
I mean,
listen, it may help you with your soft skills.
What may help me with my soft skills?
The
You're not
process.
gonna see me to Chick-fil-A and get brainwashed by whatever they got going on over there.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying the process may help you with your soft skills. The process. That's all I'm saying. Not Chick-fil-A. The process.
Okay, because I mean, first of all, I gotta make it through you and Aaron O.
Listen, I keep telling y'all about the wild cards. Don't try to figure it out. Just the process. It's gonna be fun. You know we can't hurt you, right?
I know.
There you go. That's the thing you got to keep in mind. There's no pain involved. It's just fun. No awkwardness, just laughter and just having a good time. That's all. So anyway, we got off the topic. Listen, when you're coming into the live, make sure you give me the thumbs up. It's a good time to do that. And guys, I appreciate you so much. Big Bad Bull, I appreciate your super chat and all your comments. You just do outstanding. And I'm not going to mention Estella to you anymore, okay? But what if she is one of these bachelorettes I got my eye on? What if that happens?
Oh, well, then I'll sit in my video.
Oh, well, darn, you got first dibs and you still, okay. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to say another thing. So anyway, we're getting back to the topic. Should you trust your mate with all your trash? So, Mandrell, you saying that you would trust your mate with all your trash?
You have to. What's the point? I don't get this whole thing when people pull shenanigans like that. I don't get it. I don't understand. You're supposed to be building a life together and building a family together, but you don't stop. I don't get it.
Well, there's some things that could be very embarrassing. Okay, like for instance, who was it? Mr. Bennett said, Sherelle, hello. Sale, hello, how are you also? Mr. Bennett said some women don't like to talk about deletions. Is that a conversation you can handle?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm not asking like that. I'm just telling you about some things that women may hold dear to them. It goes on like you just said. What if an accident happened and your spouse did delete someone? You know, what if it was a car accident or something deep? I don't know. Just anything. I'm just saying to you, could you, is there any deal breakers at that point once you've made that choice to marry that woman?
No, none then. I mean, now once we're married, the only deal breaker once you're married is, okay, if trust is broken, you're not trying to fix it. And it depends on why the trust is broken. But I'm not going to dismiss you out of hand for no reason. Unless it's something super outrageous. You know what I mean? Something that's just like, there's like a less than 1% chance that you would even do. Okay. You know what I mean? Something silly, out of this world type stuff. But I mean, if it's regular human stuff, I mean, let's talk it out. But if you're not trying to talk it out, you're not trying to work things out, there's nothing that I can do. You've taken it out of my hands. You're not trying, you know. So what option am I left with in cases like that? You know, I'm
But
gonna try to work it out.
are you willing to share all things, like the things that may be impressed on you in the military?
Oh, I don't care.
I mean, so
Are you
you are.
willing? Are you ready to hear it?
That's what
That's
I'm
the
asking.
question.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Nicholas, hello. How are you? Listen, these bachelorettes are. I don't have one in Canada right now. But they're here. They're in the United States as for now. But it's open to everyone. I'm looking for bachelors everywhere. Everywhere. Listen, we're not anywhere. Anybody who's looking for love, because I got a lot of bachelorettes, and I hate to say that I may have to switch this thing around just to get it started. Cheating and got pregnant by another man, Madrill. What about that? Woo!
See, here's
I
the
think
thing,
that's a
Sherelle.
deal breaker.
Fantastic.
Well,
Hold
I
on.
think we got to go on that.
Fantastic question, Sherelle. Now, here's the thing. I can forgive almost anything, and I can understand almost anything except betrayal. Can't understand that. Can't wrap my hands. That is a big betrayal. You cheated and got pregnant by another guy? Okay.
No, did it, but okay. So before marriage or after marriage? If you did it before marriage, say
Cheating
for
got-
instance, I got it now. She did it before marriage, got pregnant. You married her. You think it's your baby?
Oh,
Fine.
yeah, it's all the way over. Bye. I am out. You never had my back. You never looked out for my interests. No, sir.
Do you know that's happening that's almost happening every day?
I know. I'm
That's
out,
terrible.
man. I can't do it. I can't do it. No.
So no amount of time. So what if you did this for 10 years and didn't know?
And
You were
it
married
was,
to her for 10 years. Your child is 10 years old and you didn't know.
oh, you have
Ooh.
any idea what kind of animal you wake up by doing that to me? Oh, man.
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I've heard this happen before. So I
10
don't know.
years, and I'm thinking that this kid is mine for 10 years.
Yeah.
Listen, once you gotta listen.
They made a whole song about it. Life Genius made a whole song about that. But you know
want me
what?
to be honest with you?
Maybe she thought it was yours too.
Why didn't you get a DNA test?
She didn't think she needed one. She thought it was yours. You were her husband.
You cheated.
You became her husband. You was her boyfriend.
But you cheated and had unprotected sex with another guy. You know this. You know that this is possible
Prior to marriage.
So now,
to marriage.
Okay, so gotcha. But so this facts remain. That means that not only were you irresponsible, you're also stupid. Okay, and I can't trust someone like that.
Yeah,
There's
but
no way I'm gonna. I gotta trust you with all of my affairs, the rearing of my children. Oh wait, we don't have any children. I got somebody else's I'm taking care of. Tell you what, go find that guy whose baby this is, and go have him take care of it. You're both out of here.
Guess what though? It's 10 years later. We've had kids since then. We've had two kids since then, and she's been an excellent wife to you.
Gotcha. I'll keep mine. You take your bastard and go find the father.
I'm glad you think that you can do that. I'm glad you think that you can. Since you've been married to her, she's been an excellent wife. She's done everything. I mean, everything plus excellent wife.
How did I find out this kid wasn't mine though?
For whatever reason, maybe he got sick or something. I don't know, man. It was just
gotcha. Gotcha.
You didn't know either, you know. But I'm just saying, I don't know. That's a deep situation that's happening a lot now, and I'm just wondering. We can't really. You can say what you think that you would do, but we're talking about a 10-year marriage where this woman has been all about Mandrell and been an excellent wife.
She had better be if she knows she ran the risk of that.
Well, she didn't know about it. It was just one of them things she did. She met him. She met him, and then she met you shortly after. So she really didn't know. She really didn't know.
Okay.
It happens. Things like this happen. Now, listen, I agree with you. It does come from being reckless. I definitely agree with you, and it shouldn't happen. But I'm asking you, 10 years later, now the trash is out. What do you think you would do? And you think that you would actually leave?
Oh, I don't think. Listen, let me tell you something about me. I do have that same cold streak in me from that I needed to have in the military, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's still there. And
I
again,
don't think you would have it, Mandrill, after having 2 kids of your own. Now you got 3 kids, and you know kids break you down. Did you know that?
I got 2 kids. She has
No,
one.
no.
She has 3.
Listen, you have 3. 3 kids and a wife break you down. You no
Listen,
longer that man in the military. You
see,
listen.
you're
You
talking like my
somewhere
mama.
rubbing your belly. You somewhere rubbing your belly, laying on the couch. You're not that
See,
person anymore.
you sound like my mama. Look, y'all think I won't leave after that? Because my thing is, like, I would honestly take time to process it. I wouldn't just out in a fit of rage, get out, pack your stuff, get out. Nah, still been my wife for 10 years. I gave this kid a father's love for 10 years. I'd have to process that and think about it for real.
Now I agree with that, Mandrill.
I wouldn't touch. Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
owe
touch
it
her
to
for a while.
yourself,
I'd be
though.
pissed off.
But why would it matter?
Why would it matter?
Yeah.
This
It
whole
was
thing
done.
is predicated.
It was done before. It was done before, and she really didn't know.
Oh, so she gets knocked up. We meet, and then she thinks it's mine.
Yeah, she was already involved with someone else when you met her. Then she met you. She left the other guy alone, and then you and her got together. But shortly after y'all got together, hey, Aaron, it matters. Aaron said it matters. It matters,
does
but
matter.
how much does it matter? We talk about
A whole
10
lot.
years later. I don't
A
know.
whole lot. It
I hear what
matters.
you're
10 years
saying.
later. Listen,
I hear what you're
you're not
saying.
going to convince me. I get you. You're
I'm
not. But
not
she's
trying
not
to
going to be able to
convince
convince
you. I have
me
no clue. I have no clue. I'm not trying to convince you.
that she didn't suspect. Sometimes she didn't look at that kid. Then look at me sitting there and like.
He actually looked like you.
No, there's no way.
Oh, yes, there is a way. Oh, believe me, it is a way. It happens, Mandra. I'm serious. People tell me and my husband look alike. I know we don't, but people say it all the time. You know, you never heard of people being around each other for so long they begin to look alike.
Yeah, I've heard of that. But
Okay.
you know, my sister and I are thick as thieves, and people look at her and they're like, "This is your sister? Yeah, your blood sister. Yes, my blood sister." Like they're like, "You two look nothing alike."
So you making my point.
Nothing alike.
You making my point as into that doesn't matter. It can go either way. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I'm painting this picture because that's a real thing. And I often wonder, and I have no idea. I'm not telling you how to behave at all. It's deep, but I just don't think you could walk away. Deep. I don't think you could walk away. I don't think any man could just walk away.
Listen, I don't play betrayal. I don't.
No,
I don't.
Where was the betrayal?
Hey,
she didn't know.
Thing.
She didn't know. It was prior to you. Where was the betrayal?
How do I know that though? How do I be sure?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm gonna tell you how you would know, or what you could look at. You could look at the last 10 years. How did this woman treat you? What kind of wife was she to you or for you? You know, was she that wife? Was she that mother? Was she everything that you talked about?
You gotta go find this little kid's father then and let him know what's up. See, now I got to deal with this.
He doesn't even know, though. He didn't even know he had a child. Remember?
Yeah, he's about to. Mm-hmm. He has to know that he has a kid out here.
Okay.
Now, whether he chooses to take the responsibility and get to know this child, that's on him. Okay. I got no power over that.
Right.
He needs to know that he has a kid, though, because he's a father.
Right.
He deserves to at least know.
Okay.
What he does after that is anyone's guess. That's his business. Whatever.
But it's been 10 years. She maybe can't find him, or maybe didn't even know him. Maybe it wasn't even that deep of a relationship. I'm just saying. You can find him.
That's a deep one. 10 years though. She didn't know. Listen, ladies, Bella. If I decide to throw on the tape in and it works out,
okay.
Trust is an absolute must. Absolute must.
Well, I'm just not seeing the listen, I'm giving you trust. I don't see the distrust. I haven't you haven't told me one thing yet where she showed you some dishonesty or distrust. Because this was before you. But it happened closely before you.
Gotcha. In fact, I got a friend of mine that everything happened to. He didn't get married though. He didn't get married.
Wow.
He didn't get they didn't get married, and this wasn't the cause of them not getting married. But yeah, man, it was crazy. Like she had met some guy and ended up, coupling, and then she met him, left the other guy. She's pregnant. It's like, yeesh. Ugh.
You don't know. I'm saying this really happened. No, this is a true story. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Again, I got a friend of mine, my old roommate
Really
from
did happen.
university. He this happened to him.
I'm not
Yeah, it
telling
really
you.
did
I'm
happen to him.
not telling you what to do. I have no idea what to do. I often think about it and say to myself, "How in the world can you handle that? How would
That's
that
a
be
good.
handled?"
Yeah,
That's
I'd have to sit
trash.
back and think about. That's what I said. I
That's
got to think
trash.
about that one.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm
I got
not
to
putting
think
in.
about
I'm
that
not
one.
trying to make you do anything because that's a big deal. But I happen to think that you wouldn't destroy your family. If it's been 10 good years, I don't think you would destroy your family.
Mm.
I'm talking about 10 good ones. I'm not talking about 10 all right. I'm talking about 10 good years.
That's the thing, though. Yeah, that's why you got me thinking, because if it's been 10 good, you know how hard it is to get 10 good years out of a marriage, and I
No,
was
I
lucky
had,
enough to have that.
no,
And
I had,
then
I had 26. You take the good and the bad, but ultimately the good outweighs the bad.
there you go. So,
But guess what? Though? There was none of that stuff like what you're talking about. Though there was no infidelity, there was no third parties, there was no oops babies and things of that nature. And I think if you can blend with someone and not have those things happen, that's a good relationship, Mandrill. That's a good relationship.
yeah, that's true. But still, this one I wouldn't touch her for a while. I know that.
Look, you got Aaron up there talking about shaking and say, Aaron, why you
Oh
shaking
no,
your
man,
head,
that's
brother?
rough. Because that's another man's child. That's enough.
Mandrell. You never
What?
moved off your square, bro. I can't believe you moved off of it when they kind of whittled you down and gave you all these scenarios of why you should let it go.
I didn't tell him to
No,
let it go. I didn't tell him to let it go. I said I didn't know.
listen. There are such thing as called double standards. And
Mm,
I know it seems so unfair because we're in 2022 when we're trying to move away from these double standards and we're trying to see more people as, yes, we're trying to move away from these double standards in 2022.
Ain't no
But
need us moving away from him. I don't want to be no man. We could keep leaving just like it
I,
is.
I understand you got
Good.
a good you got a good grasp on the world, so you're gonna
Yeah,
be all right.
I'm gonna
But
be good.
no, I'm sorry. Women cannot get caught cheating. You can cheat, but you can't get caught. Men are
There
the
was
only ones that men are the only ones that can get caught, and and have an understanding that it's okay to work it out. Women cannot get caught. Cannot get caught.
listen, there was no cheating. The woman did not cheat. This was prior to him.
No. Okay, I popped up when I heard. Well, she had a baby on the side, and Mandrill, you had two more after that.
No, well,
no, if it's cheating, no. Now, Aaron, you know me better than
that
that.
was
If
a
it's
little. It's a
cheating,
little
I'm
different.
out. If it's cheating, I'm out. End of story. Cut and
Okay.
dry.
So well, how did she have a baby that she thought was yours and it wasn't yours? Then how did we get there?
Yep.
So
Straight
she was dating someone prior to Mandrill. She broke up with that person, and then her and Mandrill met, and then her and Mandrill kicked it off. Got married, but she was pregnant. Didn't know it, but when she found out she was pregnant, she thought it was Mandrill's. Her and Mandrill got married. They were married 10 years. This could be like me and my husband. Me and my husband was dated for 6 months, and we got married. 10 years went by. In that 10 years, Mandrill and her had 2 more kids. Something happened with the older child that is now 10 years old, that it came about that child was not Mandrill's. Strictly through DNA, she did not know anything about it. She's just as surprised as Mandrill. Mandrill, this is trash. What do you do with this?
That's a rough one, man. I'm like, look,
Yeah,
you-
I'm gonna tell you why it's a little unfair. Like, because I'm gonna be honest with you, because
It's very unfair. It's very unfair.
that is an extremely reasonable situation to where a guy should let that go. I have to admit that is an extremely reasonable thing. However, when it comes to being the father of a child, this is the only scenario in which men don't have to even be logical in this situation. I'm actually perfectly fine with men being totally extreme and defined in these situations where they're like, even though it makes sense, I'm mad. This is the one area where I actually have a lot of leg room for men. And I'm gonna tell you why. See, women cheating and having side babies are worse. And I may have explained this before, but I don't know if I have on this channel. But let me give you an example. When a man has when a woman, okay, let me go do this direction. When a man has a side baby, of course the woman is upset and she hears why he had a side baby, right? Okay, that's bad. A woman has a side baby, right? That's way worse. And why is it way worse? I'm going to break it down. Well, if I have a baby with another woman, that baby is in that other woman's house.
Right.
You have a baby with another man, that baby is in our house. That's vastly different.
Vastly. I agree with you.
And so,
but a good woman would tell you to go get that baby, that side baby you got. I would say,
I agree with that.
Bring it over here.
Well, that's
it's
not
different with me.
No, you're right. It used to be like that.
Listen, I'm not gonna deal with babies' mamas. You got your side baby, and we're gonna be together. I need you to go get that baby and bring them on over here, and we got to deal with this together. Because
here's why this might destroy my family. Okay, look at what I have to deal with now.
What?
My code of ethics and honor. I'm going to be compelled to get in contact with that kid's father and let him know. It's my duty. I got to. I don't have a choice. I cannot take that responsibility nor choice from him. He has to make that on his own. So I must go do this.
That is a really good point.
What
I was already enraged,
though.
I was already enraged. I didn't even get to that point, Mandrill. So you know what? Let's get back to being logical. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Now, what say this guy wants to be in this kid's life? Look at what I got to deal with because of your actions.
I agree with you on that. That would be something that you all have to walk through. But remember, she's been a good woman for 10 years. She may be mature enough to handle that. And her actions was the same actions it was just a single woman being irresponsible, screwing around too much. I agree with everything that you're saying. I'm just saying it's a real thing that happens. Now, somebody put this in the chat. And this is a way that we can prevent this. And I'd advocate for this too. So I think it's a good deal. If we gave every child that was born a DNA test at birth, we wouldn't have these problems.
Oh, but who's going to pay for that? No, I don't think the government should have to pay. No, that's not right. That's the counter argument.
I agree with Cora.
Legitimately is the counter argument is that the government shouldn't have to pay for that because you're not sure what you're doing in your relationship. You should have picked a better woman.
So why you can't just go in like a hospital expense, just like everything else? They make you pay for the Tylenol they give you. They make you pay for the x-rays they give you. They make you pay for the anesthesia. They make you pay for everything. Just go ahead and slide it on into those costs. What's wrong with that?
It's reasonable to someone like myself because let me
tell you something I learned other than not to cut you off, Aaron, but let me tell you this. I have somebody that's dear to me that just had a baby. Do you know her baby was in like the baby ICU? And they pay you $865 a day for your child to be in ICU. Did y'all know that? They pay you. Yeah. I had never heard of that. I said, wait a minute. What is this about? For the child being in ICU, the parent, the mother, I don't know if it's, whatever the situation is, $800 and some dollars a day. I don't know if it's a day or one time. I think it's a day. $860 some for ICU. They give the parent that. So if they're giving, So I don't know. I guess I don't know the whole thing. Maybe it's because they can't go to work. They expect you to be there. I'm not really sure. I don't know if you have to pay it back. I don't know if it's a grant. I don't know. But they give it to them. So why wouldn't you just be willing to add a cost of a test in there just so we can make sure that we know who the mom and daddy of this baby is? I don't think that's a big deal.
That's true, because you still got me thinking about this whole scenario. I'm thinking, would I believe her? Well, it happened before you. Would I believe that?
Okay, so I'm finna add something to it. What if she found out and never told you?
Oh, it's over. All the way over. Period.
Do not cut it and dry.
She never told you, Mandrell. She never told you.
What you mean?
Remember I told you about the trash? Is it okay to deliver all the trash? She knew about it. She found out about it, or she did the numbers. Something came to her to make her think that, you know what, this is not my husband's child, but she never disclosed it.
Yeah.
You told me earlier there was no deal breakers amongst you two.
That's a betrayal. No, you betrayed. You stabbed me right in the back.
It's no betrayal because it happened before you, though. Where's the betrayal?
What do you mean? She found out. She didn't tell me that wasn't my kid.
At that point, it became but that's 10 years later. I'm not changing that part. It happened 10 years later she found out, and she just hasn't or didn't tell you at that point. No, she loves her husband and don't want to lose her family.
I get it. You should have told me from the beginning. You know this.
No, she didn't know. She didn't know.
Just tell the truth.
Mandrell, you're attacking it wrong, bro. I've already had these conversations. Let me tell you something
didn't
about
know.
women. In most cases, if a woman can't, and men don't believe that they can make an accidental mistake like this. You don't just fall into a man's toxic. We don't believe that's an accident. But let's just say, for the sake of it, we can see that maybe a woman I slipped up and I made a mistake. Maybe that's true. Let me tell you this: any woman that does not want to lose her family is willing to bite the bullet and lie. So for me, that understand that
Don't
a
lie.
woman is willing to do that, I'm already thinking like this. You cannot put the power in her hands. Every child that I have is going to be DNA tested. Period. It's not up for debate and none of that. Every single child I have, and I'm only planning on having one, is going to be DNA tested. In period.
So
And
listen
I'm
to
not going to
this.
be secret. It's not going to be a secret. It's not going to be behind nobody back. It's going to be known. I'm very, very, very upfront about that. I'm very stringent about that as well. So no, do not put the power in her hands and allow her to make a decision like that, because she's going to do what's in the best interest of her. She don't want to lose Mandrill. I can't lose
That's
Mandrill.
true.
You know how these
I don't want to
men
lose
out
the
here.
last 10 years of my life. And I didn't know. But guess what, Mandrell? They say
Mhm.
you willing to hide some bodies. You're willing to
I
hide
am.
bodies, but
Mhm.
you ain't willing to deal with a bastard child.
No,
If
he
that
didn't say he
bastard's
wasn't willing
mine,
to deal with a
yeah.
bastard child. He
He
didn't
did.
say
He
that.
said he would leave.
No, but it's about how it was conspired. See,
Thank you.
he's big
That's
on
what I'm trying to
principle.
say. Listen, there was no conspiracy. This happened
Yes, there
before.
was.
No, listen. I told you this happened before you. You knew
She
about the man.
didn't tell me.
No,
Okay,
no,
okay,
listen.
so no, I get it, but how about this? How about this? I hear you, security boss. So let's try this. After we go and find the father,
Yeah.
and that said father says, "Oh, you know what? I missed all this time in my child's life. He has to come live with me now." She has to be okay with that. If she fights it in any way, then nah, it ain't gonna work. Because you
No,
stole
I
from
agree
that
with
man.
that. I agree with that because there's some consequences for things you do. But Mandrill has to be okay with that too. Because Mandrill has raised this child for the last 10 years.
As a man of principle,
So
she's
actually,
going
he's
to
a
give
little
that man his
Mandrill.
baby.
You know, he's
Nah,
actually a little Mandrill.
that's not how men work. I'm telling you, like as a man of principle, especially how the situation happened, he got to get it. No matter if it hurt, men gonna do what hurts. Like we know it hurts, but you're gonna have
It's
to get
gonna
that
work.
child up. It's gonna hurt.
Gonna have to.
I
I
agree
don't
with
have a
that.
choice.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. There's some consequences, but I'm just saying to you, there was no deception.
You said the year that the caveat that she found out some way and didn't tell me. Then later on, 10 years down the road, I find out.
No. She didn't find out at all till 10 years later.
Okay.
But at that, the first caveat, the first scenario I gave you, there was something that happened that both of you all found out at 10 years. The second
Okay.
one was she found out at 10 years and did not tell you. The second one was deception. She did not tell you. But the
Mhm.
first one, she didn't know. But you knew she had a relationship just prior to you. That was no secret. You knew she was having sex prior to you. That was no secret. But no, you didn't know that sex that she had produced a baby, because shortly after you was having sex too, probably even the next day or the next week.
Gotcha. Then why don't I just thank you. I'm glad you said that. Now I know what to do. Yeah. I'll just have if that's the case, then we'll just have the baby DNA tested.
I agree with you, but when you're married to a woman and she's having your baby and she's been there faithfully with you, she's a good wife. Remember, I told you she was an excellent wife. You're not thinking that way, but I think this is a thing that we should do, period, is have DNA tests for everyone. But I need you to keep that mindset, Mandrell. I need you to do that, because too often men don't think about that.
About what? Which part?
There, it could possibly be a man right before you, days before you, a week before you, a month before you.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be, or vice versa. Women, I think y'all need to, because sometimes you don't know. She didn't know she was pregnant, but then she was. And then you and her went for 10 years. She's an excellent.
I'm gonna say this. Hold on. I gotta say this. She shouldn't have jumped to me that quick. She should have had a 3-month period.
There's that.
I agree.
Period. Like, so I'm going back. Look, listen. The way we see a woman is we see a woman being more so. If we pick a woman, we see her as somebody that's like, I don't want to say the word like godly, because it's not godly, but it's more of women are like better than men. Because we look at men, other men like, yeah, you that's something a man would do. We don't want to hear nothing a woman doing is something that a man would do. We don't want to have any connotation that you did something that a man. We don't want to associate that with you. We picked you. So we'll go back in time Be like, dang, at that time you was moving like that and I didn't even catch it. We might not be able to get past the fact that we couldn't catch it back then. We might be so frustrated with that moment. We're like, now you question every moment.
But let me say
Every
this though.
moment.
But modern dating, the way things are out there now, women, I'm gonna say women have pressure on them. You know, we got this 90-day rule. If a woman is really looking for a husband, right, and she sees a good man, and she thinks that this is a good man for me, I could be with this man, but she hadn't met Mandrell yet, and she may have slept with this man, thinking that they were going to have some relationship. But whatever happened, then here comes Mandrell. And she knew Mandrell was the one for whatever reason she knew.
Women don't know.
Women don't know. You sure women don't know?
They don't know. Obviously, they're saying, I didn't know. Every excuse is, I didn't know. I didn't know. So it can't now be,
the truth.
I just knew. No, we ain't
But
doing
guess
that.
what? Though? They don't know. They don't know, but they're still trying to follow your leads. They're still trying to follow the lead of the man. So if she felt like Mandrell, she probably should have waited on Mandrell. And this is all unreal. So I'm glad y'all just playing along with me. But Mandrell,
no, this ain't unreal.
I got you. It ain't
really
unreal. The man wrote a whole song about it. He did. I got you. But still, the point I'm trying to make is this. What do you do? This is trash. This is a very trashy situation. Very trashy. Do you walk away from this 10-year marriage, or do you y'all too quick? Bella says y'all too quick to jump in bed. That's true.
Hey, see, I agree with Bella. On that one.
You slept with her. You only knew her for a week or two.
Well, try to look at it from my point of view.
What was that?
I was horny.
Oh my God.
Nah, Mandrell, I can't get down with that.
I wish you would have said you was drunk. How about that? Listen, y'all, just give me.
But I do agree with Bella.
Make sure y'all give us a thumbs up when you come into the live. We definitely appreciate it. Take a minute, y'all. Let's breathe and give us those thumbs up. Let's get those likes up, guys. So listen, I got my co-host over here with me. We're gonna talk about I Choose You in just a little bit, but we trying to figure out why Mandrell hadn't sent in his video yet. Because he don't, you know what, Aaron, he doesn't realize that we got a whole bunch of women, some wild cards waiting in the background. He don't know about that. See, I don't disclose everything. So
that's true, Mandrell.
What you think going on with him?
Well, you know, Mandrell's trying to be a little more conservative. You know, he went to Chick-fil-A. He thought about filling out an application, but he said, "Nah, I just can't do it. I cannot do it." He got nervous. He got nervous. He was like, "I don't know if I want to change right now." So he got scared. He got cold feet. He backed out of the Chick-fil-A. He stood in the parking lot for about half an hour, just thinking about it. Thinking about like, I'm not ready. He wasn't ready right now. But see, you know what? It might be a good idea to put that 1 to 3 minute video in. Listen, you never know.
Bella, that is not true. I don't know what you're talking about. We're not letting the cat out the hat. Bella been asking so many questions. We're not letting you know nothing. You're gonna be no, ma'am. You
gotta keep it genuine. You can't give her too much. You gotta keep it genuine.
I know, but she be asking the right questions though, and I'd be like, I'm gonna ignore that text.
Wait, so you guys keeping her kind of in the dark as well?
Yeah, we can't, because listen, we can't let her know everything, right? Because we wanted to be as organic as possible, and it's going to be, because it's not scripted, right? So it's going to be more organic. But you know, listen, security boss, they listen, creative mind over there. Okay, her mind is just
I'm not telling about the wild card judges. I'm not telling anything. I'm just telling y'all there's some spice, and I need y'all participation. And Sherelle, I'm not even talking to you right now, because you already look. I get the heart. See, but I'm not playing games with you, Sherelle. See, there's a lot of the bachelorettes are there. I'm telling you, they're there. The men, y'all are being out, y'all sending emails, asking questions, and like talking from afar, but I ain't talking about you. I'm not talking to y'all anymore. That's all.
What up, bro?
I think the guys just want to know what they get themselves into.
I told you these men ain't want no women.
Wait a minute. Hold, E-Man, how are you? But wait a minute, Mandrell. What you mean? Want to know what they're getting themselves into? Let's ask that question. What do you mean? Tell me. Ask the questions.
I mean, I guess guys want to know what's this all about? Like, is this real? Number one, and if so, how's it going to work? It's long distance. A lot of people don't want to do a long distance relationship.
Hold on. We had a show where we literally gave people an option to ask any question that we could give answers to. We literally had a show about this.
Yeah.
When was this?
Oh no.
Look.
And why do you tell me about this, Aaron?
Wait a minute. Is he acting like a woman, acting like he don't know?
Wow, security boss.
Look, I'm just asking questions because I could have sworn Mandrell was there that night.
I could have sworn he was there that night.
This is virtual dating.
I was there? How would it be?
Well, hold on. Let me disarm Mandrell real quick.
Get him, Aaron. Get him.
The first thing he said is, I don't know about long distance. Sir, do you not have a passport? Do you not have the ability to travel?
I do.
I rest my case. So you can move however you want to move. You're a boss. You can move however you want to move. Don't sit there and have no effort. Now, if you can't, now listen, I'm not dissing nobody because listen, I'm a broken Dusty. Let me be clear. But if you can't afford a plane ticket,
you don't need no woman.
Now, I didn't say that,
I did.
Because everybody deserves love. So I'm
okay. Yeah, you do deserve love, but you need to get yourself together. You need to be on your purpose just a little bit longer. Because now we're in a virtual world, and your girlfriend is no longer your neighbor. Okay,
you never know where you're going to meet somebody. You never know.
Well, the thing is, I'm okay. The thing is, Aaron, I'm okay, perfectly fine with a long distance relationship.
Mandrell,
I'm perfectly fine with that.
There you go. Keep saying that it has to be a long distance relationship.
It doesn't have to be. I said I'm fine with it if that's what it turns out to be. I mean,
you got the power. Listen, you got the power to move however you want to move, bro. Like that. That's the thing that I'm saying. Like, had I be entering this contest to win, I'll be moving how I need to move. You know what? I'm flying out there next week. I'm gonna be back in a month, or I'll be back in 2 weeks. You move how you want to move. What do you like?
And we have never said what these. Okay, I said today though that I don't have any bachelorettes from Canada. I did say that I don't, but I have a lot of them from the States. So, and I haven't said where they are located either. So how do you know there's not one? You in Alabama, one in Tennessee. How do you know this? Have I said? Have we said anything like that, Aaron? Have we made it known? Where? No, we haven't.
No.
Here's a question. What say you meet someone and you're in the middle of this whole process?
And
it's someone you want to take your chances on. Do I just tell you to?
Oh God, he really went there. He's really lost.
Okay, so
I'm asking questions.
We can answer that question because that's a fair statement, right? Life happens. If you're saying that, hey, listen, I met somebody on this process and I'm so sorry. Like, listen, that can happen. Like, that's real life. You could be married and be like, I'm divorcing my wife. I met somebody. Like, I don't recommend that, but it could happen. This is life. So I think people are putting limitations on things because they have apprehension about not knowing the outcome of something. It's kind of like you want to you really want this job, but you need to get a 99 on it. And you don't test well, so you're like, I don't know if I'm even going to try for the job that you really want. The thing is, you don't know the outcome. The only thing you have control over is what you're willing to try.
That's the fun part to me. Not knowing the outcome. That's the fun part to me.
It takes away the awkwardness. We're doing all the work. How about that?
Listen,
Aaron and I are doing all the work.
Well, my thing with that's just some weirdo stuff to me. Like, what's awkward about it? It's a person.
No, what's awkward is I see so many eligible men that look like they would make absolutely great husbands, but they don't have any women. That's what's awkward. And
men are hiding in the shadows, like shockingly.
Yeah, and they won't approach these. They're not approaching these available, beautiful women. They're not approaching them because they don't know what to say.
Yeah, they coming on a certain late night situation, and they talking about where the women at.
Yeah, and they don't know how to shoot their shot.
We're literally cultivating an environment to connect people. Literally, that's the whole goal. Like, we don't promise no outcomes. We literally are. It's the whole point. Is to cultivate an environment that connects people. That's the whole point. That's it.
That's a good thing too. There's another one who needs to send in a video.
Who?
Jay Tekashi.
How you gonna tell him what he?
Listen, wait, hold on. Are you saying? I don't know if Jay is married or not, but
he's not.
Oh,
Anyway,
listen.
We
so
can't hear you, Jay.
Mandrell, what else
Not
did you?
married
What
yet.
other questions did you want to have about it? Because let me just run it down. You send in your 2 or 3 minute video. You put some memorable things, or you introduce yourself. The vetting starts with Aaron and I. We actually get back in contact with you. Not maybe you. You may not be one of the ones we choose, but we get back in contact with the bachelors and we vet them. We ask them certain questions. We say, "Are you doing this? Are you this? Are you that?" If you win, or if you're chosen, then you come on to the show. Then at that time, it's a live show. Then Bella, Bella gets to ask questions also. But while Bella's asking questions, the chat is also saying, because there's going to be 3 to 5 men on each show. So Bella is asking questions, and the chat is saying good or bad, 1, 2, or 3. They're also choosing the one that they think would be good to go on to the next show or on to the finale. Then once we get to the finale, there are 3 to 5 men, probably just 3. And then at that point in time, one man is chosen. Bella chooses one man, the judges chooses one man, and of course the chat chooses one man. But ultimately, Bella has the final decision.
Sounds fair enough.
So what we're doing now is we're just started advertising for the show. We're trying to get everybody in and involved on the show, because what it is we have to have enough bachelors, we have to have enough judges, and we have to have enough chat or comment participation, because everybody is required. So once we get enough out there, we want to have it starting in August, but it may be a little later in the month. But we want to get it started this month. But it all depends. It all depends on how well the advertisement does and how much feedback that we get. Now, we've been getting a lot of feedback. Oh, listen, Nicholas says, Bella, you already got TLA, teasing, laugh out loud. You're set, sis. Hey, listen, I think Bella didn't know that was really TLA. And she might have
She didn't know. She didn't know.
No, she didn't know. I think she might have stepped in something, but it was funny. It's cute, but it's great advertisement. So how about that?
What you think, E-Man? You think they scared? You think the
No,
guys scared?
I think what we're gonna realize is the reason a lot of people are single is because they're so picky. It's not that they're looking for suitable people that they can be married to. I think that their standards are so high and they don't match their standards, and that's for the women and men. So we say that we want these natural women and this, that, and the third, but I can guarantee you, if you had one of them Instagram models, you have about 40, 50 dudes that done applied already. And I think that's what we about to see this play out.
I'm not doing Instagram models. Aaron, you interested in that?
Amen.
No.
Okay, so listen, let me read this super chat. Sir Hale, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. He says, no men, fellas, no more complaining that there's no good women. It's time to shoot your shot. And that's what it's about. It's getting all the awkwardness away. But here's the money line song. Here it goes, y'all.
That's funny.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up,
Go ahead, E-Man.
money line.
E-Man putting his shoulders into it.
Every time. Give me mine. Going up.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, security boss. I gotta go.
Yeah, you got a show to do. All right, we're
Yeah.
going to check you out. But listen, you got all the information. If you don't have enough, you go ahead, go to my channel. There's some more information there. Submit that 2 or 3 minute video, buddy, because you don't know what is there. It's just a bunch of stuff we haven't told you yet. But it's airing it now. You got to trust us.
Listen, you know me. I know how to spot them. But look, this is the thing about the guys. It's like, you never know who's watching you. Now, let's be honest. Now, we ain't aiming for this, but let's be honest. You on the show, and somebody might try to snatch you off the show. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
When they hear exactly what they're like, okay, this all I needed to hear. I was afraid to speak, but he got the information out of me. Okay, you never know what's gonna happen. You never know.
But do
See,
y'all
look at
really
Tia. Tia says, I'm looking for a man with character. You see that? The women, I ain't gonna even tell, I can't say no more. I'm not telling no more.
What if he only makes $40,000 a year though with the
Listen.
character?
Listen. There we go.
Yeah, characters out the window there.
Don't talk about my women. Don't talk about my bachelorettes. They're showing up. Don't even talk about
You know what? Let's play that scenario out. Because what people do. Let's say this. Let's say he only makes $40,000 a year, but he owns 3 paid-for homes. including the one he's living in. So he has no overhead cost to where he's living outside of property taxes, right? It's like you don't never know the situation people are actually in. We're just literally putting a salary on somebody. But listen, people know how to manage money way more ways than most people actually believe. So I'm not saying we worried about 40. I'm just saying like people make it extreme when they think that limits. People operate differently, bro. Like things change when you see. Look, Cora said no 40,000. We understand, Cora, but you never know. Because somebody making 90,000, but still got to pay.
Who's right? Who's right, man?
You just don't know.
Wow,
There's just certain
Listen,
things.
your 40,000 could be your job, and you could be 100,000 residual. You just don't know how people are making their money. I mean,
Or
listen,
a woman is supposed to be a man's muse, right? So why does she inspire him to go make more money?
No. That's not. No, we're not doing that. See, that's the problem with people. You're trying to change people from being who they want to be or who they are. That's the problem that a lot of people have. Just find the people that are the way that you want them to be. Don't try to bleed nobody or force nobody into being that way. Because what we found is that's not working. I agree. If you get married at 21,
I'm not trying to change nobody.
I agree with you. Now, here's the thing.
Said 3 houses. Listen, they said 3 houses, Aaron, with 50,000 a year.
They wasn't listening. Let me clarify, Robert. Let me clarify.
Robert.
You don't know how they acquired those 3 houses.
Absolutely not.
You have no idea how they acquired those 3 houses. All I said is they all paid off and he owned them.
They could be family homes. They could be family homes on 2 parcels of land.
He could have inherited because his daddy made sure that he was just a security guard and he bought 2-3 houses back in the day. And his daddy wasn't a big super earner, but over time, the economy changed and it benefited him on an inherited tax. So see, the problem with a lot of people is they think it's negative if you inherit something, but everybody wants generational wealth. Don't you think your kid's going to inherit generational wealth? See, that's the problem with people. See, that don't even make sense to be like, oh, your daddy got that for you. That makes
I like
sense.
security guards.
I'm telling you right now, one of my
we making excuses.
Yeah.
I do want to comment on the topic too when y'all get a chance.
Listen, I'm gonna jump right to you, E-Man. But listen, Corey, you don't have to. If you think a man that only makes $40,000 a year, if that's his limited arsenal, if you're like that's all he got and that's how you judge, sure. All I said was he owned 3 houses and they paid off, and he only making $50,000 a year. If you think that's a bad deal, then you ain't thinking right. But that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah, because a good man can make 45,000 because if he gets up and go to work, we can build on that. But again, I'm an old woman. But
see what I'm saying? But these women today don't think like that. Yeah, security was honestly.
Listen. When me and my husband came into this marriage, we was building together. He was an entrepreneur, and I was there to do whatever he needed me to do. But guess what? Many years later, we don't have those problems, and I've been married a long time.
Right.
So,
listen. Let me say this, and E-Man, I'm gonna come right to you because I know you're gonna pick on some. Listen, ladies. I don't care if you have a standard on how much money a man makes. I do not care at all. As long as you can get that man. Because I'm not going to come in here and complain about said women that I ain't trying to get. I'm not going to do it.
And listen, it's not about how much money a man makes, because guess what? He could make 100,000 and be terrible with money.
Yep.
Terrible.
I never thought about that.
Listen, hold on. Let's be clear. If you are really reading about the business world, economics, and what's going on generationally, people should know, because I'm a millennial. People should know, listen, most millennials are struggling financially. Even if they're making 6 figures, people that are making 6 figures are struggling on the toe. So like, she's right. You have to have some financial acumen just to even be on the level. Unless somebody making 45,000 can be in a better situation than somebody making hundreds. I'm not saying you should settle. If you want just the salary, if that's what's important to you, go for that. Listen, because I can tell you right now, men are very good at knowing what women want. We know y'all like money, so we're going to flash that. We know y'all like shiny things to assume whether we have money, judge our cars, and we'll manipulate you in any way if that's what you focus on. But listen, do what's right for you. I'm not going to knock it.
Hey, Billy, how are you?
I'm good, security. How you been?
I'm doing good. So, E-Man, what you got to add to this?
Well, y'all said a lot. Let's start from the beginning.
Well, okay. I mean, you got the floor.
But I got you. So the first of all, keep your trash to yourself. It's a reason why it's called trash. Throw your trash in the garbage can and move forward. Like I strongly believe that you do not need to give somebody else your trash. That's why it's called trash. Like that's the one thing about what I love about being able to leave it at the altar. Some stuff need to be left at the altar and don't need to be picked back up. I don't agree.
Man, I'm not agreeing with you on that one.
I'm just saying I do not agree that we should just be trying to dump our trash since we don't had a messed up life. We dumping it on the other person. I don't think that is their barrier to carry.
Okay.
I don't think that. So don't get me wrong now. If somebody's inquiring about information about you, you should be open with them and not lie to your spouse. That's not what I'm saying. But you just airing out your trash just because you're trying to get it off your shoulders to put it on somebody else, I disagree. Big time.
So it's a big difference on what you consider trash. That would be the discrepancy. What is trash? You know, because like if that scenario that we just gave, how about this? The Asian man. Well, let me ask a question. The Asian man that found out his wife had total reconstructive plastic surgery to her face. Is that trash?
That.
Yeah, I think
consider.
I think those are the type of questions in vetting that you ask. That's what I asked my wife. I asked my wife all the way down into did she have braces? Like I wanted to know. Like,
really?
Yeah, that's the problem is we don't ask enough questions and then we make a forever decision without enough information. Any business will tell you that if I'm gonna make a great business decision, I need to have enough information to make that decision. So I was asking my wife all kind of stuff that she was really uncomfortable. Like when I talk about I pulled my wife credit, she'll tell you. I was like, hey, check this out. Just to let you know, I'm transparent. Here's a folder with my credit. I need to see your credit if we're going to continue to make this thing work. And then as a man, I had to say, hey, check this out. I am willing to pay off her debt. I paid all my wife's school loans, all that stuff off. I paid it all. But I need to know what I was getting into. We didn't need to be having this conversation after our wedding. See, everybody said they have this conversation after their wedding, and I think that is horrible. Have it be straight up.
No,
I'm with you with that.
What was why did you need to know about the braces though? What was the what was?
I just want to know everything.
Was it an outstanding bill or something? Was it an outstanding bill to the dentist or something? I mean, I can't imagine.
No, I just wanted to know, because like my wife got really nice teeth. So I was like, hey, is those natural teeth? And she said, oh, I had a retainer. Like I'm just asking. I'm really trying to investigate her.
I got you. You made that seem like that was a super vetting question initially. That's why we kind of was a little alarmed by it. But you just said it like you just asked a lot of questions. I get what you're saying because I do that a lot. Y'all can tell.
No, don't get me wrong. If she got crooked teeth, now you've been disrespectful to ask her if she if she got really
okay. Yeah, that's
like if she got really nice teeth. Was you born with those teeth? Are those implants? Ask those questions.
Well, you know what? That kind of makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. Because if I saw a man that I was interested in or whatever, and he had like a chipped tooth, I would want to know the story behind it.
Yeah.
So I would want Aaron. I would want to know.
But men are less offended by these questions than.
Is it offensive?
Yeah. Let me go on that because.
No, I'm saying men don't get offended the way that women do.
Women don't either. Listen, if a woman is into you, you can ask her anything. Now, if she's not into you, she playing games with you, that's something different. But if she wants you and y'all really talk about marriage, she's like, let me go ahead and just get it out there because I'm trying to get to that stuff.
Was it a lot of college debt though? I gotta know. You ain't gotta tell me the number, but
I'll tell you the number. My wife had about $12,000 in debt, roughly.
Okay, that's cool. Because I'm gonna tell. Because listen, me and JB talk about this from time to time. We just having conversations, just playing off and I said anything like 50 and less is reasonable, but most of these women, they sitting on like 80, 90, $150. Like they really sitting on debt because they didn't change their major a few times. They was like, I just get a loan. I just get like it's bad.
That's bad.
That's a decent deal right there.
I know this is gonna sound bad, and I know it's gonna come out bad because I'm man is gonna sound bad. I already know it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You really
I
gotta
need you to
look
use
at
the
your
right
wife.
words.
Don't do
I'm gonna
it.
try.
Don't
Hey,
do it.
you really gotta look at your wife as in you're buying her. Like, what does this asset cost me? Like
Okay.
now I know that sounds so bad, but like, what does it cost? Like, how much is this going to cost for me to be able to bring this under? So it's almost like me, like if you see a company inherit another company, that's
So
what we need to look
you
like.
talking about bringing assets under management. I'm with you on that. Talk that
Yeah,
language.
I kind of agree with that too, E-Man. That I don't think that was that bad because I think a lot of sometimes my husband kind of speaks of me like I'm a possession.
No,
Can
no,
I
because
ask a question?
men purchase women. I say this all the time, but
Yeah, he
see,
does. Oh, I'm
I say
sorry.
it all the time.
Yeah, no, Billy. Billy, we getting ready to add you. You went to black. I didn't know what happened. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Yeah,
a
look,
question.
12K is not bad at all. Look at
When vetting females and asking these questions, do you sometimes run them off by asking too many questions?
I hope so. I hope so.
yeah, I don't think
I'm
so.
trying to get rid of her. Billy, listen. My goal when I was vetting women is to get the trash away from me. Like it's so many people trying to inherit the trash. Oh, I can change this trash. I can put a bow on this trash and make this the perfect trash. If she runs from we talking about adult conversations. If she's running from adult conversation, if she's showing the level that she's immature, you need to go on to find somebody who want to have those conversations.
I agree.
So
If
listen,
your wife had less than 20,000 in student loan debt, you can assure that she's intelligent. She clearly was making sure she was making good decisions, making sure she was paying it off from time. Like, yeah, that's a win right there. That's a win. That's a win.
yeah. So listen, I want to say this. Gosh, first thing was I've just had Cora. You're right. My husband does sometimes often speak of me like I am his possession. He does. I love it. He don't control me though, but he takes care of me. It's good over here, girl. I'm telling you, we was broke when we came into this relationship, but we're not broke no more. It's
Won't
good.
he do it? Won't
Yeah,
he do
we
it?
will do it. But listen, this goes back to what E-Man was saying. Not E-Man. This goes to what Big Bad Bull said earlier. He said a young woman he was dating about 4 months was asking him all type of personal questions, and he was divulging and saying everything to her. But when it came to him asking her, she wouldn't say nothing. So I told him, I said, that was a red flag. You better be glad she didn't say anything. And of course, he left her alone. But you are exactly right. Those vetting questions will run someone away. But I'm still not understanding what is trash to you. Because if you ask all questions.
Well, no, trash is anything that doesn't add value to our current relationship. So when you start asking questions, I give you an example. Like when people start asking about people past sex life, I think it doesn't add value to the future. So all the questions the reason I asked about braces is because I knew that was something that can be inherited through my kids. I'm asking questions more of what we call things that can to, to affect my future. Not, I don't want to know all her past. Even when me and my wife got together, I told her, I said, I really don't care to know about what you did on a Tuesday night, on a Thursday with such and such. I don't care. Like some guys do, but I don't care. That don't benefit me.
So you would get a big pushback from most men because most men want to know about the body count. They don't. They say they do.
Let me tell you what
we
these
do.
YouTube.
Trust me, we do.
No, you don't. Let me tell you why. The reason
And
I
I will
know
tell
that.
you why I do. Go ahead.
Okay, the reason I know that men don't really care about these women body counts is they still sleeping with them. If it was a big deal, you wouldn't be sleeping with these women with high body count. So I don't think they care like that. I think they go ahead, brother.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it matters. When I was a senior in high school, I started dating this girl, and I asked her one day, "How many men have you been with?" And she told me she was a junior, so a year younger than me. And she said, she was 100% honest. She said, I've been with 45 men so far. And I said, how? How in the world have you been with so many guys this quick? She said, well, my ex, he said that if I loved him, that I would sleep with his friends. He wanted me to sleep with his friends, and if I loved him, he would I would do it. And so with that being said, right there, I knew that I could not be around this woman anymore. That's why it matters.
Hold on, so Billy,
You have to. I
do you
can't
believe
break her away
that would
from that. I
affect you?
can't. At that age, at 17 years old, and she's already been with that many men. You can't break her out of that.
And this is why women lie and they don't tell the truth. Because the reason that women lie and they don't tell the truth is because they're being judged.
No. Hold on, E. You don't
So
see
you telling me that she
you.
would have been a good woman for me?
No. Hold on. We don't make excuses for why people lie. Like that's fair. But when I say this is why men lie, because they wanted to sleep with you, but we thought you was gonna say no, it's cool. But so the point of it though is we don't champion that's respectable though. There is no point and at no time is it reasonable to lie. That's all I'm saying. I get what you're saying why they do it, but it ain't cool. I'm just making that very clear. It ain't cool.
Well, I'm not condoning them lying, but you gotta understand if a woman wants to be with you and she knows if she tell you the truth, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna leave. It's just in her best interest in her mind to lie to you to be with you.
It's the same thing for men. Then we really want to be with you. But we want chicks on. We want.
I think
chicks on the side.
Men and women are lying.
No,
men
but
lie
hold
about how
on.
much
But
money
E,
they make.
they're telling.
And
But
women
hold
lie.
on, E. Hold on. They telling men to tell the truth. Be upfront with these women. Let her know that you want to be with her and you might want to sleep with girls on the side. Be up. They telling men this. They not. Where is the outrage for women to start telling their truthful body count? That's my point. That's the counter to it. I get your point and I agree with you. But you're saying, well, if a woman really wants to be with you and she knows that possibly 9 times out of 10 it's going to be an issue, a man really want to be with a girl, but we also from time to time might want to sleep with a girl on the side. It's not in our best interest to say that, but it's what we want. So that's what I'm saying. Like we're telling men to be upfront and straightforward, but we're telling women that no, stop lying and be honest.
Well,
I don't agree. I gave him pushback on that too, because I do think if you're considering marrying someone, and that would be something I'll consider that would be trash for you, E-Man. I do think you should know, because those things play a large part into a woman's behavior and man's. And when you see them acting out of, you don't think so, E-Man? You don't think so?
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Wow.
He shouldn't be ashamed of her body count. She should be proud.
No, listen.
Or don't sleep with those people. That's my opinion.
No, this is what I'm saying. We paint on YouTube that just because a man or woman have a high body count, they can't function correctly in the marriage. Like
no, that's not true. You say that's what the picture. Yeah, you're right. It may be a little bit like that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So no, I'm saying that I believe when two adults really want to be married and they really want to do it the right way, they able like it's like you can't tell me like I used to be out there. I was a hoe. Let's just call it what it was, right?
Right.
I was a 304. Everybody know it, right? But now in my marriage, I don't move that way. It's like we move in marriage with wisdom. So I don't think that
you move in marriage with wisdom. That's not how all marriages be going.
Well, I'm not saying all. See, now Aaron, don't start.
Not even most. Not even most.
But guess what, though, E-Man? Even in that, there are some things I've heard you say that you have not yet overcome, and it goes back to the fact that you did move that way.
No, I think kind of like your life said, I was exposed to sex too early.
Too early. And there's some things I've heard you say that are a direct reflection of that. And I'm not saying that your thought process is wrong. It's just that you haven't matured completely in that area, because you can't. Meaning, sometimes when you do things, you have to be totally extreme to get over it. You're going totally extreme to the other side. You're totally extreme. You don't even play with it, because you could probably fall back into it if you rode the line. So you've gone totally extreme from your past life. And so there are some things that I've heard you say that happened to you in your past that you have not yet. You may feel like it doesn't influence your decision, but it actually does. I've heard you say these things. I'm not going to call anything out, but I'm just saying.
I got what you're saying. So for example, I don't hang out with hoes, right? I know in my past life, I used to be a hoe, so I don't hang out with men that's hoes. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's a man that's sleeping around and a man that's single, I understand my behavior, so I don't hang out. I don't put myself in those situations.
Right.
So I get what you're saying, Well, the one picture that I'm trying to help people with is this right here. You don't have because I was talking to this young man today, and we had a great conversation. He told me, he said, I asked him why don't he want to get married? He said, because I have to be perfect when I get married. And so many people, when we paint these pictures of these perfect two people getting married, I don't think it's realistic. I think somebody's gonna bring back both people are gonna bring baggage. What they need to do is they need to come and they need to be willing to leave the baggage at the altar. When you get married, there's some things you just got to leave behind and you got to move forward. And if you focus more on the future, in my opinion, it gives you the ability to be able to not act in those same way. I'm not the same man I was 3 years ago when I got married.
But understand this, E-Man. Some behaviors are learned and cannot be changed.
Well, that's not
That's a
true.
lot.
That's not
No,
true.
check this out. For example, check this out. Great example right here. You have a man who's a heterosexual straight male. Can we all agree that once you start getting exposed to something, this becomes normal to you?
But you can reprogram
Only if you accept it. Only if you accept it as your norm.
No, I'm just saying, like each man up here, even you, security boss, it depends on where you were born at. But every man up here knows that once we started watching porn, that changed us internally forever. Something inside of you is gonna have a connection with this. The more and more you watch it, the more and more this becomes okay with you.
Well, no.
If you watch, look, I'm not done yet. If you take a heterosexual male and you put him in the room and you constantly put gay porn on the television, after a while, this will become okay to this man. He'll be so used to seeing it.
I hope not.
This is how programming works with the children and stuff like that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is though, you don't accept. I had this conversation with Mandrell a few weeks ago. Just because we live here in the world, we don't have to accept the things of the world. You can acknowledge things go on. We can acknowledge that there is a such thing as gay porn. But once I see something going in that direction, I can quickly turn it off. This is called discipline.
Right,
you can train your mind.
We might want to get away from that word, particularly.
And once you do it,
please,
what gay is
the
P word, the P word.
No, the G word. It's actually, yeah. There's actually some people looking into outlawing that word. Actually,
I thought that was an appropriate word.
Right, it's LGBTQ.
Listen. All I'm telling you is it triggers the algorithm. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Wow.
All right. So what we gonna? What's the?
So I'm gonna say non-heterosexual.
We're gonna say the alphabet community.
Okay.
The alphabet community. All right. So what I am saying is this right here is, so our mind really works like a computer. How we made a computer is we kind of made a computer based off the human mind, right? And what I am saying, it's not going to be easy, but you can reprogram yourself. It is a reprogramming that can happen. For example, the reason I'm saying that is because I all the way up until about 22, I had to sit at a point and say everything that I have learned upon this point about finances, about women, is wrong. And I had to, for the next 8 years, I reprogrammed my mind to think different. And what happened is I limit my gateway, my eyes from seeing the negative side, and I start focusing on the positive for 8 years, and I reprogram myself. So you can reprogram yourself on anything if you want to do it. Most people don't want to do it. That's why they
so you can make it even more generic. You don't even have to say it's a computer. You can say that we're sponges. We're just like kids. You know how kids learn from a kid. You can do things in front of a kid and they can repeat it right in front of you with no thought. You'd be like, how in the world?
But that goes along with what I was saying.
Yeah, but see, listen, that child had no choice. You do.
No, I'm just saying people in general. I'm just saying that once you're exposed to something and constantly exposed to this environment, that you become numb, almost like it doesn't affect you.
No, only if you allow it. Because the word you're using is constantly being exposed. Now, someone can trick me. Wait a minute, Billy, hold on for a second. You can trick me into something one time, If I go back and do it again, I'm choosing to do it. So that's the choice. And you said it. I'm choosing to do it on the second time. The first time you tricked me, I didn't know what was getting ready to happen. The second time I chose it. If I do it again, I'm choosing it. That's where the disciplines come in. If I don't want to watch GP, I don't show up where GP is being performed or shown. I don't have to do that. That's the choice. But if I choose to keep watching GP, checking for what the clarity of the video, how they do this, and I'm questioning it, that means I'm entertaining it. And once you entertain something, it will get into your computer. I'm back now with email. It will get into you, and you will start actually either it'll be detestable to you, or you will actually start wanting it.
Right. I agree.
But you have to make that decision. There is always a decision for you to walk away.
I definitely agree.
But see, that's what the world doesn't tell you. The world tells you, it's here and you have to accept it. That's not the case. You don't have to accept anything. You can acknowledge it, but you don't have to accept it.
But just like when we were younger, you never seen two men kissing on daytime television. You would have never saw that. But now that we're living in a new day and age, we see this all the time. The first time we saw it, it was almost detestable. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this, that, and the other. But now when we see it, you don't even. Now it's in Taco Bell commercials. Now it's in.
That's not the same. That's not the same, because those people that detested it, unless they change their mind on it not being likable or something that they can accept, they still feel that
way. The same way. Yeah.
Right. No. But what I'm saying is that it's become less detestable. Like me, I don't like seeing it, but it's so normalized now that it's not shocking to me anymore. That shock value is gone. When the first time I was watching TV and I saw two men kissing, I was like, what the what? But now when it happens, I'm like, it ain't nothing but CBS. It ain't nothing but Fox News.
But do you turn the TV? Do you turn the TV, or do you keep watching?
No, of course you got to turn the TV.
Okay, so it's the same thing. You now just anticipating it. You know it could happen. So you acknowledge it. You just acknowledging it. You still haven't accepted it. You just turn the TV.
Right.
That initial shock has worn off because now you've acknowledged that this is the way the world is, but you're not accepting it by turning the TV.
All right. I think we really agree with what I think we're all in agreement with this.
Right.
And I think that what I'm trying to get, the point that I'm trying to make is that you cannot expect someone who's experienced something to just forget it.
Actually, you can. I forgot a lot of stuff from my childhood. I went through.
Are you familiar with the AA saying that you are always going to be an addict? You can stop doing drugs. You can get off drugs for years, but you're always going to be an addict.
I think that's a lot from the
that is always going to be inside of you.
So Billy, so bring that to what you're saying about the young lady that slept with 45 men. I think that's where you're going with this, right?
Right.
So you like, she can't unlearn.
Like once you've done that, the what you've experienced already in this short period of time, that's affected you. That affects you as a woman. That's affected you in so many ways down the line in your life that I can't deal with this. I refuse to put and be aligned with this, because I know that there's nothing but trouble that's going to come from what you've experienced.
Okay, so can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Are you saying that because she actually had sex with 45 different men, or are you saying that is because she has exposed herself 45 times?
No, 45 different men.
So you're saying if it was just with one man, it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. So you feel like the ties that she made with these 45 different men are things that she's going to carry with her throughout her life. And it would go on to affect you. Okay, so stop right there now. Now let's go on to the man. So he too has exposed himself to. So no, let's don't even do that. What is a good cutoff number that you would say would be good that you could handle? Is it 5? Is it 10? 45?
No.
What is their good number?
I'm speaking within that short period of time.
You mean
Like
17 years?
even if she stopped being a virgin at 13 and she's 17 now, and now
Okay.
there's 45 guys in a 3-year span. That's way too many men.
Right. So what if she never had sex again until she was 30 or until she met her husband?
The thing is how I even got to asking this question from her
Mm-hmm.
is I was in the gym shooting basketball with my boys, and it was like, "Oh, Tyriel's your girlfriend?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my girl." It was like, "She loved doing this, don't she?" And I was like, "How you know?" He was like, "Oh, everybody know about her." And this is that, and so I went to go ask her, "How many dudes have you been with?" Well,
Wow.
I'll be honest, and this is that, and it got to there.
So
and I'm like,
wait, so
"No."
wait. So you couldn't tell before they told you that?
Yeah, he couldn't tell.
So you couldn't tell before they told
Most
you
dudes can't tell.
So then your point is moot. Then your
That's
point
right,
becomes
then.
moot. So
Yeah.
you're not even identifying what you're saying.
No,
Right.
no. This was early on. This is young stuff. This is before I'm asking the right questions. This is before
No, Billy.
Oh,
Billy the kid.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Billy, what are we telling you is this right here? If you was removed from school and you met her outside of those premises, you couldn't tell that she been with 45. The only reason is y'all circle was so tight that she can be able to do it. Imagine when you start dating people in other circles, you would not be able. You're not gonna know. You're just not gonna know.
Right. So listen,
Nah,
Dr.
that all
Panderson.
matters. Remember the conversation that I was having with Anton and what makes a trophy wife? It's the perception of what everybody else thinks about your woman. And so I'm not secure enough to walk around with everybody knowing what my woman looks like, what my woman feels like, or what, like.
But see, Billy, because
these are sacred presents for your man.
I agree with that. I can agree with that.
But no, Billy, what we were telling you is that you're dating in your backyard. That's why everybody knows. For example, me, I'm from Georgia. When I moved out here to Seattle, the girls I was dating, I had no clue. I didn't know their friends. Like I didn't know. So I'm saying once you start dating outside of your backyard, kind of like what Security Boss is talking about her show, when you dating somebody in Miami or you dating somebody in Texas or someone in Tennessee, I'm telling you straight up, you're not going to be able to have somebody influence, because especially if she moved to your state, nobody going to know her but you. So it's the only thing they're going to know is y'all as a unit, not as an individual, in my opinion.
All right. So listen, Dr. Panderson, what you got to add to this, y'all? We've been here about 2 hours and 17 minutes. We got about 15 more minutes and we're going to end this. So Dr. Panderson, what you got to add to this?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the beginning because I ain't about to talk about no men on men.
What?
All that man on man stuff. Yeah, you ain't going to hear that in videos of men on men.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that was a okay. I got it. Go ahead.
I was just making a
talk
point.
about trash.
Yeah. Here's my question. Somebody did something when they were 18 and when they were 21. Let's say you're married to 40 and she's 34 or whatever. Back in 1586, something didn't happen. She met with Big Tony in an alley, or when she was 8, her cousin came over and Big Raheem and them did. Why do you care? Certain things, there's a graveyard for a reason.
Amen.
But okay, you know what? Fine. So now you're married for 4, 5, 7, 11 years. And then you find out she got bent over by Big Tony, Raheem, and Quan. What are the benefits? Do you get a tax break on your mortgage now? What do you get? What is the reward of knowing something when your life was cool? Everything was fine. Now you know that Big Tony bent her over back in Memphis when she went on that vacation. And now you can't go to sleep at night because you're thinking about Big Tony.
So why can't you go to sleep then? Because see, my thing is this: if it's not a big deal, it shouldn't bother you if you know the truth.
No, the point is this: why are you digging up stuff in the grave? Why are you reaching? When you were 18, that time when you stayed over your cousin's house, what really happened? Come on, tell me.
No. I mean, listen, I'm not sure where you got that from, but if you're talking about the scenarios that But the
saying,
thing is,
go
do
ahead.
you tell everything? Do you go into a
No.
marriage with secrets, or do you
No.
tell everything?
On your way to the altar, you stop at the graveyard and you
You
dig.
drop that stuff off. Come on, Miss.
You can have secrets. I just don't think it'll be.
Yes.
I think
There's
like
a thing
there are
called
secrets
don't
that
get caught, and some stuff goes to the grave. That's where it's supposed to be.
Okay, so
Security
guess
boss,
what?
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sure.
So, and not realistic, but I just got to ask it as direct.
Sure.
Mr. Boss, that one time he told you was in Oklahoma, he wasn't there. He was actually in Vegas.
Okay.
This was 1994.
Okay.
Right after the NBA Finals.
She's not gonna like that, by the way.
Or it was 99, and then in 2002, that time when he said his uncle was sick, it was really with. Let's just start. What benefit do you have of knowing you got a good life? Everything is cool,
right?
And you can eat a turkey sandwich after this podcast. You can eat a turkey sandwich and smile.
Right.
What benefit do you have of knowing about what happened in Vegas in 2002?
Well, if I was
tax break.
Okay, how did I find out about Vegas in 2002?
You asked and he told. You went fishing and asked.
So, but why didn't he tell me initially?
Or he decided, you know what? I want to be perfectly honest with you. When I said I was going to Vegas, I really stopped in Memphis. Either way.
We got to get off these scenarios. It's getting extreme at this point.
Listen, I would want to know. I don't. The benefit would be why is my husband lying to me anyway? Because he don't want that. He don't want that. You don't want that in marriage unless you can handle it. Because when you open up that door of deception, it goes both ways. You can't do that. See, not all people are mature. Women play those get back games. Just in case you didn't know. So you lying about the trip. You listen. No, you can't take no, because guess what? That whole scenario that we did with Mandrell was one of those deceptive things that didn't get turned over, and then a baby came out of it. Now 10 years later, Dr. Penderson, you're gonna be somewhat sick knowing that, or just now finding out that you have a baby that's 10 years old that's not your baby.
I'm mad because I found out everything was cool. I got my family, I got my kids, we're going to the park. And now you done told me that you done went out here with Quan Jenkins and he up in Idaho. And then you found the dude.
Oh, that
everything was fine. I had me a nice.
Let me ask you a question. You don't think that these things come out for a reason?
Yes, to ruin my life. I had a good life.
No, I'm saying.
Why would you not say anything in the beginning?
She didn't know. No, I'm saying though, why do you think these things actually come out? She didn't want it to come out, but why do you think these things are revealed? What do you think is going on?
I missed part of the how, because it was like three different. Well, what if this? Well, what if the baby this? What if the which one are we talking about?
No, I'm just telling you. There's no.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
Because I had a good life. I got my kids. Everything's smooth. What I need to know about something dirty for?
So hold on. So you mean to tell me that nothing they did in the past matters now?
Nope, not to me.
If I don't know about it, no, it don't matter.
Okay,
wow.
So if
it doesn't exist.
So if this person was
cool,
a prostitute, selling vagina for pay, you wouldn't want to know that.
Nope, that's my fault.
If she can give me the wife I want without me knowing, and I can go all the way to the grave and not know, Aaron O and E-Man could have both paid 50 each. I don't care.
Maybe so you mean to tell me that right there?
If E-Man pays 50, I'm paying 49. We ain't paying the same price. I'm paying 40.
Cool. So, Dr. Penderson, where is your 2 to 3 minute video? I don't think I've received it yet.
I would not like to participate.
Okay. We ain't gonna talk about why right now. But you do say often. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you about it right now. We'll talk about it later. I'm not gonna put you on the spot because I told you I have several.
You better enter, Mr. Penderson. He can't tell you about the wild card.
I've already told Penderson about it, and Penderson is one of the ones mostly that talks about.
But
I got an idea why he don't want to be involved, and I understand.
But let me guess.
Okay, well, don't make him say it.
Hold on. Let me guess. Well, no, I ain't gonna say it.
Yo,
But
so
You don't, you don't have
offline,
to say it, Panda.
if somebody
yo,
Slim.
wants to know off,
look. So a
if somebody wants
woman
to know
would not
offline,
need
I'll
to
gladly
know.
tell you, Aaron or E or security boss.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
If you
sorry.
want
Say
to
it
know,
again. Say it
huh?
again, Dr. Benson. I didn't hear you. Say it again.
No, if you want to know offline, I'll gladly
Yeah.
put it in the back
No,
channel.
don't say it. Don't say it. Because
But
what
if
I'm
you
trying
want
to
to know, I'll
say is
tell
you
you.
don't know. We haven't said and divulged everything. So anyway, but offline, we'll talk about it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, Billy. What were you saying?
Oh, it ain't no
So what
back
I'm
chat,
trying to
so I
get
can't
at
put my
is
info in
what
it.
you're saying is a
Yeah.
sexual past
Is there a
does
back
not
chat?
matter at all to you.
Yeah,
He's saying
there's
no.
a back chat, bro. Hit the private where it says private in the corner.
I
No,
don't see
Billy,
private. This ain't StreamYard.
No, it
Billy
says
the
Yeah,
private
kid.
right at the top. It
Show
says
it.
private.
Billy the kid. Billy the kid. I want to make sure I answer this question you
I
just
don't know how to
asked.
work this thing.
After I go to the altar and I say I take this woman, and
I'm
she
not
says
talking
she
about then.
takes.
I'm talking
Listen,
about
let me answer
period.
your question first. You asked, do anything in her past matter? After we're married, nothing in her past mattered to me. Now, it's part of the vetting process for me to find out if she was a prostitute and all that stuff. That's my responsibility to vet them. But once I say I do, I can't be like, oh, back in 1927, I heard you was a freak.
No. Nowadays they got OnlyFans. Nowadays they got Pornhub. Nowadays they have all kinds of things that will put you
Ask the
in a
question before
certain light
that.
forever.
But we're
If
talking about people who didn't get caught.
No,
The
but
main
listen,
thing is
Billy
don't
the
get
Kid.
caught.
All
No,
right, so
Billy
if
the
she
Kid.
look, you get with a woman, she was like, well, about a year ago I had an OnlyFans and I made a whole bunch of money from it, but I don't do it anymore.
Well, that's something
Will
that's
you look
gonna
at her
get
the
found out.
same?
No, that's something that's
That's
gonna
in
get
the
found out.
vetting process, though. Like, see, what the point that we're trying to tell you is, if you're vetting a woman and she give you information that you do not like, walk away. It's okay in business if we find something that's bad about a company and we say, I'm okay, I don't want to make this deal. That's okay. But once you go in front of the altar and you take that person as your wife, you don't get a chance to walk away now just because you found out something. It's your
he's
fault.
right.
If OnlyFans,
He's right.
if
Yeah, I mean,
OnlyFans,
I agree.
Pornhub, and all that stuff is a problem, you need to ask those questions before you get to the altar. If all those are going through your mind, ask those questions before. That's all we're saying.
So listen, I hear that we're now definitely a house divided. Some say we want to know everything. Some men say they want to know everything. Some women say they want to know everything. I want to know everything.
I don't want to know everything.
I want to know everything.
I want to
Some
know
men
before
know
we move
everything.
forward.
Everything.
I
I
want
want
to
to know what I'm
everything.
getting myself into because this is a real life decision that we're doing.
Real life.
You've been dating her. She's showing you she's showing you by her actions.
But if
what
you
get
don't
yourself
ask these
into.
questions, if you're gonna wait till marriage to start to get deep,
They're gonna
like
lie
Yeah.
anyway.
this is pointless.
But
They're gonna lie anyway. Come on.
So guess what, Pam? I got one for you. I don't know how long you've been watching the show, but initially I said it was a lady. That's the first transgender that I ever saw. It was a man. He was born a man, but then she transitioned into a woman. She's a beautiful woman. She's on a production team, I think, for Oprah. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? They did a whole show about her. She's beautiful.
That question is not for me. That's
No,
this
I don't watch TV, so I don't know.
It's been years ago, y'all. Yeah, years ago.
Anything to do with man, mutated, anything like that, that question is not for me.
What do you mean? You wouldn't know. She's a woman.
Oh, you'll know.
I quit. I quit.
You know. You'll know.
No, you won't. No. I promise you, you won't. You will not know.
Pineapple.
She has made the complete transition, and I'm gonna find a picture of this woman. You will not know.
I'm tapping out.
I know.
Yo, I don't know nothing about Uncle Auntie.
You won't know, y'all. I'm telling you. But would you expect her to tell you? Would you expect for her to tell you?
Would I expect, or do I think that they would?
Would you expect for her to tell you guys?
No, I don't expect that they would. I want them to, but I don't expect that they would. No.
Right, because she's now a woman. She's now a woman. Would that be
because you got to believe in your head? Yeah, you got to believe in your head.
Yeah, no. This one is a woman.
No. She can't have babies.
I don't want to go down this. Let's not go down this path.
Billy, not all born women can have babies. This
There's
woman
no
has
other
made
way of know that I can think of.
But
This
he got
woman has
ovaries.
made all
Does he have
kinds of
ovaries?
conditions. Listen,
You
it's a
just made
lot
my
of
body do the
women
jerky
that are born
thing.
Do
women that
he
don't
have
have
breasts? Do he have
yeah.
breasts?
Yes, breast and something else too. She has made. I'm gonna get. Listen, I don't know why y'all don't know that. Maybe y'all a little too young. But I just look up the. She's the first. She was one of the first, and she's a beautiful woman. And if I showed you the picture of this woman, y'all would not know it. And she's
Nah,
made.
you can't cut no Adam's apple out. You'll die.
Next
No,
You'll
question,
die
she
if you
has
please.
cut
none
that
of
Adam's
that.
apple out.
She has none of that. She actually
Listen,
has a husband. She actually has a husband. He's a
that-
man.
Pineapple,
that's why you need to get you a baby
grapefruit,
mama. You know, if you
grapefruit,
get you a baby
pineapple,
mama,
Guys, you
watermelon.
better think about this. Y'all not thinking right now. You better think about this. This is very real. You need to be
Right,
asking
right.
questions.
No, I would
I
want.
want,
Let me say
hey,
something. Yes,
Thank
I
you,
would want
You
security
that
need
to
to
boss.
be
be
asked.
asking questions.
Thank
You
you,
need to be
Mr. Security
asking
boss.
questions. It's a very real thing.
Thank you guys for
There's
tuning in. But that'll be all.
Mr. Security
hey,
boss, hit that
Eric,
button one
security,
more
so
time.
listen.
no, security boss, we don't have to have this problem if you get you a baby mama. Baby mamas, you know she a woman. You know the
Yeah,
baby
that's
came
true.
out that thing. I'm just
That is
saying.
true. That is a part of it. You're right about that. How about that? But see, y'all, we getting older and older and older. So the childbearing age is there. Panda's 41 years old. He getting farther and farther away. Billy, are you married?
About to.
All right now.
About to
He
be.
said, listen, Black Savant said he bringing some holy water next time to come to SB Street. Go ahead. Listen, I was hoping you had the sage in the background because it gets off the hook, don't it? But this is a real thing. Y'all need to be asking these questions. Don't be doing that. I don't care. I know what I don't know. I don't care about. Don't do that. Ask questions. Somebody said a minute ago, would it be important for you to know that HIV was present, even though it's non-detectable? I don't know if that's what the actual question said, but I'm just going to take it to another level.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
taking it
That
to another level.
definitely has to be talked about.
The
All
point
that.
is,
I'm
And
taking it
no,
to
and
the
that
another
was
point,
what I was basically getting at with the girl who was 17 with 45 partners. Like, how can you,
the
like,
point
how
is
does
something's
these
supposed to be
things
able to go
not
to the
cross your
grave.
mind?
HIV
No, but
will put you in the grave.
So
no,
what now?
but no,
It's supposed to be something that you never find out until in the graveyard 7 years after you enter heaven. You find out if you want to know. HIV,
No,
you're gonna
no, no,
find out when
no.
you
You
lose
can
80
ask
pounds.
questions like, how many men have you been with? And when she says something like that, then you got to start hey, I'm so glad I never took that condom off.
Panderson, what you're saying is not true. A lot of people don't find out till years later.
Right.
Yeah,
But
because
she
they have
didn't
things
tell you
standing.
now you died from HIV. You'll
So
find
what?
out when you. I'll find out once per year when I take a blood test, and I got HIV. She didn't take it to the grave. She took me to the grave.
I'm just
It's a
saying.
little
But
different. 'Cause
guess
now I
what?
found
Though,
out.
if you had an opportunity to avoid it all, if you would have asked the question, why wouldn't you just ask the question?
but no, we say
There's
ask
certain
that
things that are
question.
implied. Like,
Oh,
excuse me, do you have a penis? I think people kind of need to let you know that kind of stuff. People get killed over that.
Where are we going
Yo,
with this conversation? Because you know what?
There's some stuff you
I
don't need
can't
to
do
ask.
this.
listen, I'm
yo,
trying
yo,
to
yo,
tell
yo,
you
yo.
something. You better ask questions.
Yo, let me
Aaron, you can
There's
be
certain stuff
naive if
that
you
you
want
just
to. You
don't
better
do.
ask. Aaron, you already got a woman. But anyway, y'all need to ask questions. Don't just take things for granted anymore.
Some
Don't do it.
stuff people
Ask
just
questions.
don't do. There are consequences for these things.
Listen, somebody said, SB, I don't know if I agree with you on this. A man transition. Oh God, where did it go? Man
Nope.
transition to be a woman is not an actual woman. But let me tell you something. She is a woman. Y'all need to look
No,
her
she's
up.
not.
She's
Um,
She
had
is
I'm
every.
not.
she's a
No.
man who
Hey,
portrays
Wait,
a
hold
woman.
Mr.
on.
Security
How?
boss, can you hit
Listen,
that buzzer one
I'm
more
trying
time
to tell
for us?
you, she is a woman. Only thing she can't listen. Y'all need to look her up. There was a whole. She was on the production team of Oprah. I want to say it's Oprah, and she's a beautiful woman. She's had everything transitioned. She no longer has a penis. She has a vagina. No, she
But
can't have kids. No, she can't carry kids. But y'all need to look her up. This needs to listen. There's no man that I can imagine that would not entertain this woman as a date. There's no man. He would entertain this woman as a date because she does
Listen,
not. I'm
I'm
telling you,
nobody arguing with you as far as we
that's
probably
the point
couldn't
I'm making.
tell, like
I'm
there's a
about to throw up.
possibility that they could trick, like all this stuff. But I listen, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just telling you. But wouldn't you rather just ask? As it goes back to the woman, the Asian woman who changed her appearance. Her
No,
husband didn't know to
see,
ask that question.
but the difference is, okay, I'm gonna give you the short example, right? If you
Okay.
ask most heterosexual women, right, can a man go from being playing for the other team and come back to your team? The answer is no, right? You would agree, right? Most women would deny that possibility, right? So
I
you
don't know,
disagree?
because there we go again. Say a man had to go to prison for a little short stay.
No. Okay, go ahead. Make this make sense to me. Go ahead.
And when he come out, if she don't ask those pertinent questions, you know what the questions are, right?
I don't know if women have to ask those questions, but
it's not a given. Everybody doesn't participate, so I'm not going to even take that for granted. You have to ask these questions. But guess what? Say he did, or say he says no, but he actually did. Does that change who he is as a man?
I can't do this.
Yes,
man. I can't.
Yep. If
look, they don't fade the black on me. How y'all gonna do that? This is.
No, I just can't do it.
Hold on, don't ask us. Hold on, ask the women in the chat. Will they deal with a man that previously was playing for the other team but came back to the women's side? Ask the women in the chat if they would do it. You gonna hear?
Guess what? How about this? Will men deal with a woman that previously paid for the other team and came back?
Yeah,
they will.
They do that all the time, but women don't do it.
A woman will do it. A woman will do it.
Get a woman that admits she's willing to do it in this chat right now.
She ain't gonna admit it, but she's not gonna admit it because she gonna say she don't know. She gonna say she don't know. But guess what? I'm telling y'all, better ask questions, young men. Ask questions. Ask questions.
I'm done.
Billy, what is you saying? Because you on mute. He just talking.
Yeah, we done with him. We done with him. He's not about to take us down the rabbit hole.
I'd rather talk about Will and Jada or Victim Olympics.
No, we're not talking about Will and Jada. I done had enough of them. So get them. So listen, guys, it's been a pleasure here talking to you guys. I'm just playing, just goofing with y'all, having y'all think about things you didn't think about. But ask questions. Don't take anything for granted. Don't just go on trash. Oh, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. No, don't do that. Be open, be honest, and find out everything you can, because you plan on spending the rest of your life with this person. The rest of your life. You need to know some stuff, I think. Aaron, can you stay for just a moment? I want to talk to you for just a minute. All right, so listen, Billy, I'm glad you're here, and we'll see you the next time. Make sure you cam up, okay? Have a good night. Dr. Panderson, I got some information from you. I will be reaching out to you soon. Chat, y'all have a good night, and thank you for being here.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road.
See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too are scared to usher you off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not, and I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove your away. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can pull out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. And you crying, and I'm trying to find the reasons. So I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black?
I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road.